Good morning, Raptor Freaks. Alexiot's here, and we're back in business, baby. Boxing Day, a traditional day for the Toronto Raptors to play on. They make such a big deal about playing on Christmas and all the goofiness about Christmas that honestly, I'm happy when the Raptors get to spend Christmas with their families instead of having to take the court on Christmas Day and play in a prestigious Christmas game. Who cares? I'd much rather have the Boxing Day game because that's in some ways a Canadian tradition. Why not? They don't do Boxing Day down south, and we kind of do it up here. So why not have a Christmas tradition, especially on the road in the nation's capital of the United States, DC, against the Wizards? Why not? Let's do it. It's so much fun. So we are back in action. Thank goodness, man, because I enjoy watching games like you guys do too. And well, not much of a break. In fact, the Raptors have 4 more games before 2025 ends. And well, there's one more week in 2025. You do the math. So we got a bunch of games still. And we have 14 games in December. I'd like to get 7 of them to be wins. It's a little tough right now considering we're more losses than wins this month so far. I think we can lose one more and we'll have 7 losses. So if we win 3, we get 7 wins. So can we win 3 out of the last 4? I don't know. It's tough. We definitely got to get the one today, Washington. And then after that, it's Golden State, Orlando, and Denver. And well, Golden State won yesterday on Christmas Day. Denver is Denver. I don't know if they won. They had their late game. And then also Orlando is a Eastern Conference team that we haven't seen yet, and we have to see how good they are. But yeah, the goal for me is like if we can win 3 out of the last 4 before we go in the new year, that'd be badass. But some of that may be dependent on returns from our guys Barrett and Pirtle. So, yeah, we got the latest lineup news. We got the ref report. We've got a double classic card of the day since we don't do a classic card on Christmas, but we have to do one every day. So we're going to have 2 classic cards today. We got the straight goods on Canadian goods. We got the Instagram stories. We got all we do. Everything we do. And let's get right into it. Let's start with the latest lineup news for tonight's game in Washington against the Wizards, a team that has gotten better since we saw them earlier this year and beat them already. Now, this is a 3-game season series with the Wizards, meaning we only play them one more time after this one. And if we win the game tonight, we win the season series against Washington straight up. Not that it really will probably matter in playoff seeding, but it's nice for the team to win season series against other teams. I gauge this stuff every year. It doesn't matter which team it is. If we can sweep the Nets and the Wizards, that's fantastic. But, I want to beat them today because then we can say, just like with the Cleveland Cavaliers, we beat you for the year. Yeah, we've got your number and we've beaten you for the year. So, and Miami's going that way, and Atlanta was like that too. So, we just want to keep winning against all the teams in the Eastern Conference and keep track of our season series. So, we win today, Raptors. You win the season series against the Washington Wizards. So keep that in mind. All right, our latest lineup news. There is some news that came out yesterday that's different. Of course, Jakob and RJ are already ruled out for today. Jakob's back. It's back. Some of y'all were saying this. It's like, well, if he's back is a problem, why don't we just go ahead and give him a long, extended period of time to really rest it, and hopefully that'll help. Well, we're going to do that. It seems like we're going to do that. We've had days off for the holiday, and there's been a lot of times where he's rested. I think in the last 2 weeks, Jakob's played maybe those 6 minutes when he attempted to come in and play on Sunday against Brooklyn, and that's it. I don't think he's really played a whole lot. Other than that, he's missed almost all the other games. So he is getting a rest. It's just he tried to come back in Sunday and it seized up and he had to leave. So RJ is not back today, which I was hoping he'd be back. Man, I was hoping he'd be back like 2 weeks ago. I mean, RJ, you did tell us soon, like 2 weeks ago or something like that. So, like, can we make this happen, please, RJ? We need you back. We need you back. Jackson 5. I'll watch it back. Ooh, babe. yeah. I mean, and then Colin's on the list this morning, guys. Colin Murray Boyles, day-to-day, questionable for the game today due to illness. The guy's sick. So even though he had such a fantastic performance in the last game, getting the chain and helping us to victory against Miami Heat, Colin Murray Boyles is questionable for today due to illness. So he's not feeling well. And that's the Raptors injury report right there. I like the starting lineup that we've been putting out there in absence of Barrett and Pirtle with Quickley, Brandon, Oshai Abaji, Scotty Barnes, and Sandro Mamukelashvili. I feel like that's been a pretty good lineup, but the bench suffers for it. The bench suffers for not having the scoring of Sandro off the bench. And that means Grady, Jacoby, Jameson, you guys step up, Jamal, and score more. Please, please. We're just waiting for you to do this, guys. Just score some more. Any of you guys. I don't care. You go look real good if you're the one who can get going and get crazy and drop a 20 real quick out of all y'all guys. Seriously, one of y'all drops a 20, we'll all be like, yeah, this is our dude all of a sudden because we're waiting for it. So come on, guys. Get off the pine. Go get that brass ring. Stop messing with your life. You want to get things right? Go out there and get a 20 off the bench for the Raptors to help them in the game against the Wizards tonight, which is very doable for you guys. So one of y'all do it. I don't care which one. Jacoby, you want to do it? You can do it. I know you can do it. Grady, I know you can do it. So why don't you get off your ass and go get a 20 piece real quick off the bench and help the Raptors off the scoring off the bench? Because we'll need this. We're going to need this. We need y'all to step up on the bench production. Seriously, this is a serious need on the Washington side of things. They have a light injury list, actually. As I said before, the Wizards are a bit better than the last time we saw them. In their last 12 games, they've won 4 of them, which means, a 1 out of every 3 games wins, which is not bad. Being 4 wins, 8 losses in their last 12. That's a trend that's showing a little bit better improvement than what they've been before, where they had only won 1 game when we played them the first time. So, they've got 4 wins since we played them, and they have 5 wins now. So, yeah, it is what it is. The Wizards are listing Corey Kispert, the veteran, will not play today due to hamstring. And Cam Whitmore is out indefinitely due to a vein thrombosis in his right shoulder. So, I mean, those are guys that are actually really helpful to this team. Cam Kispert is definitely a vet that helps with veteran guidance for such a young team, along with CJ McCollum and Chris Middleton. And then you got the feisty, very strong-headed, very aggressive Cam Whitmore, who is not available for them, which is, I'm not upset about that because this guy's a baller and he plays tough. He plays very, very, very tough. So that's it. That's all that's listed. So Bub Carrington is available. He was on the list a couple days ago. And who are the Wizards right now? Well, the starters are CJ McCollum, former president of the Players Association, in some ways a disgrace as a labor leader. Kashawn George, the great Swiss-Canadian player coming up in the ranks of Team Canada. Kashawn George will be nice to see once again. He's on my fantasy team. I like to see him play. Bilal Koulibaly, the little sidekick of Victor Wembanyama out of the Metropolitans of France. He is still progressing in his career and doing what he does. In some ways, Bilal is a little bit of an OG clone. You guys say that Colin's like OG. You know who's like OG is Bilal Koulibaly. He's like OG Anunoby. Seriously, I've seen that comparison right from the start. Chris Middleton, the poor Milwaukee Buck champion, exiled to Washington, D.C. for no good reason other than the Bucks front office is jerks. And they wanted Kyle Kuzma, which I don't understand why anybody would want Kyle Kuzma on their team, especially to sacrifice a guy who dedicated his career to the Bucks and helped them get a win, and you send him off to Washington, D.C. That's the thanks you give this man. That's almost as bad as what the Clippers did to Chris Paul. Seriously. And then, of course, Olivier Sarr's younger brother, Alex, is manning the center position. He's a much better center than Olivier. But we'll have to get to Alex Sarr, number 2 pick in the draft at center. Off the bench, they got Bub Carrington, who's available. Trey Johnson. Justin Champagnie, our old friend, is the backup power forward. Marvin Bagley III is one of the vets on this team, doing good stuff for them so far this year. I picked him up on the fantasy team too because Marvin Bagley's been getting some good fantasy output with a lot of rebounds and playing very big. In some ways, he's somebody we got to watch out for. This may be a weakness, of course, for the Raptors. Rebounding has been trouble. And with Jakob out and possibly Colin out, Yeah, rebounding is going to have to be very important to the Raptors today because there are good rebounders on the Wizards. There are, yeah. Also, Malachi Branham is on this team. Will Riley, the Canadian, it comes off the bench for this team. Of course, salute to Canadian content on the Wizards team. Tristan Vucevic, the young center, is in the depth chart at C. And it's like, look, they got three centers right there: Sar, Bagley, and Vucevic, and we don't even have one right now. That sucks, man. Also, Anthony Gill, Jameer Watkins of Florida State, Sharif Cooper, the G League scoring sensation, who was on the Cleveland Charge in the past, but now he's on the Wizards, I guess, as a two-way. So, yeah, that's the Wizards team. And as I said, they won 4 out of their last 12 games with a 4-8 record in the recent past. So, yeah, they beat Atlanta, Milwaukee, Indiana, and Memphis. And they are currently on a 2-game losing streak right now, the Washington Wizards. So, yeah, that's your latest lineup news for today. Kispert and Whitmore out. All right, let's go to the refs. Ref report, undefeated. The ref report really is your best place to get a gauge on, in some ways, whether to bet on the Raptors. Seriously, I don't encourage sports betting. I think it's a scourge. I think it's one of the stupidest things that the NBA has done is open up sports betting. But if you really have to bet, well, come talk to me in the morning if you're going to be betting on a Raptors game, because I can tell you how our chances are. Of course, it's the Wizards, and you should know the chances are pretty good. ESPN matchup predictors saying we got a 74% chance to win this game today against the Wizards, 26% for the Wizards. But yeah, in the replay center tonight, it's Shea Flores, Courtney Kirkland, Danielle Scott, and Leon Wood. And on site, on the land with the Raptors, the older brother, John Goble, will be our crew chief. He's been very controversial since we last saw him. We've seen him twice this year. He was the one that got in the whole tiff with Chris Finch. Chris Finch got really mad at John Goble and got ejected in like the beginning of the Minnesota game recently and got fined major money for really got pissed off at John Goble, the older Goble brother. And he is our crew chief tonight. Number 10, 19th season out of Miami, Florida. His favorite movie is The Godfather. He likes hip hop, salsa, and reggaeton music. He eats skirt steak, black beans and rice, and fried plantains. His favorite app is Amazon. Gross. He'd most like to visit Australia, and his hidden talent is Cuban coffee barista. John Goble received a bachelor's degree in physical education from Florida International University. He worked as an account executive and teacher before joining the NBA. Yeah, he was also a cop, I believe, too, right? Or was his brother the cop? One of them was a cop in Miami also. So, yeah, he said he was a teacher and an account executive before joining the NBA. Did they scrub his account saying that he's not a cop? That's interesting. That's interesting if they did that. Let's see. Goble has been a ref for us 2 games so far this year, and we lost both the games. Yeah, we're 0-2 this year with John Goble present at Raptors games. And he had a good record with us, above 500 record to start at the season. And he has dipped underneath 500. We're now at 49% winning with him, 49.2. But the Wizards, well, they're one of the worst teams on his. And this is often true with the Wizards. They win 39%. So 49-39 is the split with John Goble, the crew chief for today. But we are 0-2 with him so far this season, just so y'all know. The second ref today is going to be Brian Forte. Brian Forte is a second-generation referee. We have not seen him yet this year, number 45 in his 19th season out of Fairfax, Virginia. His favorite TV show is Breaking Bad. He likes the movie The Godfather Part 2. So we got these guys that are Godfather fans. We got John Goble's Godfather 1 and Brian Forte's Godfather 2. I don't know, guys. What do you think? Which Godfather movie is better? The first one or the second one? That's a good question, seriously, because they're both very good. And some people, personally, I think the second one is the better one. I really do. I think the second one is better one. Godfather Part 2, I think might be the better movie, honestly. I think the critics have said that too in the past. So we'll go with Forte on this one. His favorite book is The Count of Monte Cristo. He likes to eat sushi. His favorite app is Netflix, and he most like to visit Spain. Yeah, Brian Forte has officiated 1,084 regular season games and 48 playoff games in 18 seasons as an NBA staff official. He's also worked the 2022 NBA All-Star Game in Cleveland. Yeah, yeah. His dad refereed before him. All right, Brian. Let's see, where is he on that? He's the highest percentage for us. He's got the best winning percentage for the Raptors today. We win 56% of our games in the career of Brian Forte, and the Wizards win 40%, which is actually a pretty good winning percentage for the Wizards. So 56-40 for the Raptors with Brian Forte. We have not seen him this year. This will be the first game that Brian refs for the Raptors this season. The third ref is our guy from Edmonton. It's the Canadian ref. That's right. We're going to be in D.C. on Boxing Day. You better have some Canadian content, and Matt Callio is there to provide it. Fourth season, number 53, Big Matt. His favorite TV show is Game of Thrones. He likes the movie Good Will Hunting. His favorite musician is Eric Clapton. His favorite book is Tuesdays with Maury. His favorite meal is steak and asparagus. And his favorite app is TripIt. He most like to visit Portugal, and his bucket list is to go on a Norwegian cruise. So have we seen Callio this year? Yes, we have. We've seen Callio twice this year. Callio has officiated seven seasons in the NBA G League and 4 seasons in the WNBA. He has extensive experience as a FIBA official, including assignments at the FIBA Basketball World Cup in China in 2019 that Dennis Schroeder and I believe they didn't win that one. That was the one before. Oh, he was at the one with Dennis Schroeder in the Philippines also in 2023. He's also was a ref at the Summer Olympics in Tokyo in 2021 and at Paris last year in 2024. So yeah, he's a very, very experienced ref in all kinds of places, whether it's G League, WNBA, and FIBA, along with the NBA. Matt Callio, we've had him twice this year so far, and we are 1-1 with him. We won one game and we lost one game. Matt Callio was around. We are exactly 500 this season. We were 500 at the beginning of the year. We won and lost a game this year and gone right back to 500. So we're exactly 500, even wins and losses with the Canadian ref. Just so people don't think he's totally biased for us because we're the Canadian team and the Canadian ref. But his percentage with the Wizards is the worst one he has, and that is a 14.3 win percentage. So 50-14 is the split for the Raptors. So, the Wizards are a bad team. They're going to not win these splits, obviously. I'm telling you that right now. But, and some people may wonder, why the hell do you do this? Because I can really read through these percentages and really kind of understand how the refs are going to be. And I also pay very close attention to the games. Some people just watch the games and watch the players. I'm watching the players and the refs. And I watch who calls what, and I watch how they call it, and I know who's screwing us over because it's important for me to watch that because I want to profile on all of the refs that work in the NBA and what their relationship is with our particular franchise. And what is like more favorable and who's kind of a jerk to us, right? It's an important thing because Ref Report is undefeated, and I can tell you whether they're good ref crew or not. Now, the bigger factor with today's game isn't whether the ref crew is nice to us or not. It's that we're playing the Wizards, and that they're a team that has not won a lot this year, and we need to kick their ass. Now, we could have the worst ref crew in the world today, and I'd say we need to beat them anyway. I don't care. If it has to be 8 versus 5, we'll beat 8 versus 5. We've done that a few times this year already. So I feel like this ref crew is going to be pretty fair. Matt Callio is, not a bad ref for the Canadian guy. Brian Forte's fair. John Goble's dubious right now. He's dubious. And Chris Finch has made that very clear with his gripes and his fines. Yeah. He's the one. He's the one he got really mad at. I'm telling you right now, Minnesota's coach got really, really mad at him. Former assistant coach of the Raptors, Chris Finch. So, yeah, there's your ref report. It's not a bad ref crew, honestly. I think they'll be all right. Famous last words from Lex on the ref report. Nah, they should be all right. If Goble's doing any funky stuff, man, the big problem is the bigs. We really do need to have gang rebounding. And, man, after Colin did such a good job on the boards against Miami, I don't want him to not be playing today. We really do want him playing. Seriously, we're going to need it. Yeah, Trevor J's here in the house. Good morning to you, Trevor. Thank you guys for listening to my carol yesterday and the nice words. And thank you, Shaq Lindsay. Wow. Thank you for the tip. That's very nice. I hope you guys enjoyed O Call Emmanuel. It was the song that I got in development with a couple months ago and like really worked hard on it in the last week to make sure that it worked. And I think it went all right. I think it went all right, other than I had to record it like 7 times because the audio was all garbled. And then I realized that the bed music I was using to sing it over was making it garbled, and I had to do it without the bed music. So I practiced it enough that I knew the timing and the way it should go without the bed music. So that's pretty good. I hope y'all liked "O Call Emmanuel." The lyric sheet is in there, so you can see what I was saying. And the message of "O Call Emmanuel" is a very specific message, and I hope you got it. I hope you got it. That's right. Trevor J's words of wisdom: "Don't let your good heart keep you in situations that destroy your life." Your good heart. Yeah, I mean, in some ways, look, there is self-sacrifice. There is something called doing something because it's the right thing to do, even if it's not best for you. And in some ways, I wish people would think about this more. There's a lot of egotism in this world. And you could be all out for yourself and you could screw over people left and right. You could break hearts, you could crush people. You could treat them very, very poorly. And I don't know, man. I want more humility. I want more caring. I want more people like looking out for people and trying to be nicer to them because there's sure enough people out there will screw people over for their own gain and do stupid shit and just be awful and just yeah. So in some ways, look, I get what you're saying. Don't let your good heart keep you in situations destroying your life. But what is destroying your life? What is? What is? I don't know. This is tough to say because you know what? You can't fucking get around certain situations because you have to take care of them. You know, there may be a loved one that is at a place in their life that they can't take care of themselves, and you have to sacrifice your life to a degree to help that person because that's the right thing to do. And they did something for you before. You got to turn around and do it for them. So, man, this is an interesting word of wisdom. I'd say that this applies in certain situations, but not in all. Not in all because your good heart is your compass for your life. And if your good heart is telling you to do something, even if it's not in your best self-interest, you should do it because you should listen to your heart. Because there's a lot of people that don't, and that's Grinch ass shit. And you probably hurting people and you don't even know it. So yeah, this is a tough one, Trevor. There's no hard and fast rule that's exactly this. In some situations, you should do the situation, even it is a detriment to you, because this world is so callous and cold and unforgiving and not nice to each other. Well, some of us have to be role models and do this when everybody else is doing what they want for themselves for their gain. That's the way I look at it. Thank you for the words of wisdom, Trevor J. And bless the Jones family going into 2026. It's going to make it a great year, aren't we, Trevor? That's right. We're going to make this a fantastic year. That's right. Trevor's saying this: Happy game day. Let's win tonight. Yeah. Yeah. We need to win again. We got one game. We won a 2-game winning streak. We did it last week where we beat Miami and then we beat Milwaukee. Well, we need to do it again. Except let's get a little bit more longer win streak and win the next one after this one too. But one step at a time. Wizards, you're up next. Let's show you guys. Raptors, let's not be shitty and lose to a team we have no business losing to. This is, in some ways, a very dangerous game. Because if y'all lose to this, Raptors Nation is going to go crazy and be stupid all over social media. So let's avoid this in some ways. Do it for yourselves selfishly to avoid all that scrutiny and all kinds of stupid mess that these people are going to say. And the press will even write in newspapers and say on social media. So let's avoid all this mess. Let's just take care of business and get the W. Get that W. Seriously, on Boxing Day, a tradition. The Raptors play on Boxing Day. So get that W because I don't want to go through this with the fans and the stupid shit that they say, the nation, how they react to losses to teams that are losing records and we lose to them. We don't want that. So don't let this happen today. Seriously. Seriously. The Spurs beat Oklahoma City again last night. Yeah. I don't know. Maybe it's something about the matchup. I don't know what it is. It's weird. For some reason, the Spurs are kryptonite for the Oklahoma City Thunder, and they beat them in a very important cup game. And you'd think that Thunder would want to come back and get revenge against them on Christmas Day, but alas, they lost. They lost to them. Is this a Castle thing? Is this a Vassal thing? Is this a Harper thing? Is this a Wemby thing? I don't know. Either way, Oklahoma City don't get their way when they play against the Spurs right now. In some ways, it's like people that wanted to fire Mitch Johnson at the beginning of the season. How do you feel about him now, San Antonio fans? And seriously, the gut reactions, the overreactions, just stop. There's in some ways it's like, dude, this dude has got y'all winning again. And I know that some of y'all want some of the more high profile candidates for the Spurs job after Greg Popovich, and Johnson wasn't that guy. You want Becky Hammond, you want Budenholzer, you want all these old coaches that came through with uh Popovich. You probably try and get Steve Kerr if they fired him in Golden State today. You probably would. But listen, Mitch Johnson, it ain't broke, don't fix it. That man's got a couple wins over the Thunder now, and nobody else can say that in this league. Nobody else can say that. So I would say that right there. James is saying, I think Pirtle is still injured. We need Colin, crash the boards like last game. For sure. For sure. Like he really filled in that void that Austrian Hammer gives us off the on the boards. And it was fantastic. It's kind of like James, he told on himself saying, this is what I'm capable of, guys. And, now we're going to want to expect it more and more, Colin Murray Boyles. Because if you can rebound like that on a consistent basis for the Raptors, that's a winning formula to help Raptors get way more W's, is what I'm saying right there. Now, will he play today? That's the thing. He's questionable right now, James. And our rebounding could take a huge hit without the three guys that are out, not going to be out there. Even RJ on the down low is an underrated rebounder this season, who's absolutely been cleaning up a lot of rebounds for us when he was healthy. So not enough people are talking about how RJ taking him off. Sure, he hurts our offense. Sure, in some ways, in a very ironic way, he hurts our defense. And also, he hurts our rebounding when he's out because he actually is getting in there and going after rebounds when he's playing. So all three of those guys would be helpful to us and the rebounds today. But I hope Colin's playing. Let's just put it that way. James is saying, with Pirtle's ongoing back issues, a backup center is much needed. I mean, this is the most popular song on the Raptors Nation radio right now. This is not something that is novel or new. In some ways, we've been saying this. I've been saying this since the summer, man, that we need more depth at center position. I've said this all along. When Shamshe was stripped from us all of a sudden by a fitness to play panel, I'm like, whoa, this was really bad. Like, we need to get some depth here. I mean, this is nothing new. It's like you're singing Britney Spears' "Hit Me, Baby, One More Time" in the year of 2000, and you hear it on the radio every day, maybe every hour. This is what this is. This is nothing new here, James. And this is not novel news or anything like that. You're just speaking a truth that we all know. And in some ways, I hope Bobby gets on it as soon as possible, just so we can stop saying this over and over again. Over and over again. We know this, James. We very much know this. This is a very common knowledge in our Raptor Nation for sure. James is saying that Yves Missy fell out of the Pelicans rotation. He's a decent target, or even Marvin Bagley. Yeah. Yeah. You guys want to do some scouting today? Watch Marvin Bagley the third today, and maybe there's some sort of finagle. Maybe they're in town, and Bobby's like wheeling and dealing with the GM of the Wizards and saying, you like this young player here from Milwaukee? Yeah, you like him? Well, would you flip him for Bagley? We just need a center. We just need somebody to rebound, and he's solid. He would be like, he's kind of a Drummond player right now. It's not that Marvin Bagley's super slow though, like Drummond, but he's slower than most players in the NBA at this point. But he's serviceable, and he's big, and he'd rebound, and he'd do certain things that we need in the absence of Jakob. So I'm all for it. If Marvin Bagley III all of a sudden became a Raptor in the next week, I'm sure he wouldn't mind it. I'm sure he wouldn't mind it. And we'd love it up here because the man's been in the league for a long time. He's stuck around. And some people say, why would we want a guy like him? Bullshit. This man's got an NBA experience. He's playing the NBA level still. And he may be exactly what we need right now. Seriously. So I'm with that. I'm with that, James. Good to see you back in the chat, James. Merry Christmas. Happy holidays to you, sir. That's right. Neil is here. He's seeing, whoa, whoa, whoa. Is Missy with Clutch? Is Missy with Clutch? Well, in some ways, I've because of Fred. Fred is just a information beacon, and because Fred is so open, Richie P is not on my list to be mad at anymore because he has affinity and love for Toronto. And in some ways, the dubiousness of dealing with Clutch in the last few years, and some of it's gone away from me because Fred helped clear it up. You know, Rich Paul has nothing against Toronto, obviously. In fact, he's actually helping us. I found this out recently. And so I'm going to lay off of Rich Paul and Clutch to a degree because we found out that Rich's favorite city in the NBA is Toronto and that he actually wants a client here. So he has a reason to come here. So Brandon Ingram is Clutch right now. He's a Clutch guy on our team. So Ulrich was Clutch also. You know, I have to amend this. The only thing I don't like about Clutch is LeBron's connection to it and what is he in the hierarchy of it and stuff like that. That's the one thing that I don't like. The other thing I don't like is what they did with Nick Nurse. That was dubious and weird and stuff. But the things with Fred, I mean, the story is that when he got the offer from Houston, then he came back and met with Masai and Bobby to see what they could give, 30 million versus 45 million. 45 million from Houston, 30 million from the Raptors. I mean, hello, it's 15 million. It's a difference. But still, Rich Paul's in that negotiating room with Fred VanVleet and Bobby Webster and Masai Ujiri say, you should take the Toronto deal because you've always wanted to be a Raptor your whole career. And what is money? That's what Rich Paul said to Fred. Seriously, in the summer when he decided to go to Houston, is Rich was pushing Fred to really strongly still considering Raptors and taking the 30 million and staying in Toronto. In some ways, he earned points with me for that. And Fred's not going to bullshit us and lie to us that this is what Rich Paul told him in those negotiations. He's going to tell us straight up because Fred's just authentic and real. So I have to amend some of my opinions about dealing with Clutch because of this new information. And I appreciate Fred VanVleet for being a fountain of information right now and not disinformation or misinformation. Freddie's just real. He's authentic. Fred is going to be Fred. And, well, he's let this out of the bag that Rich Paul's a huge fan of Toronto, Ontario, Canada. And that's part of the reason why we always have a Clutch guy on our team, guys, just so y'all know. It's crazy, man. Colin might be out. Yeah, it's a really, really not good. If he is, in some ways, all right, this is the thing. We do know that the two ways are with the 905, but Mobo is with the Raptors. So Jonathan is there for depth for them. The 905 are going to play the Maine Celtics tomorrow here in Mississauga. And Chucky, Elijah, and AJ are in Mississauga. They are not in Washington, D.C. So you won't see any two-way help with the Raptors today. But I'm pretty sure Mobo is with the Toronto Raptors. And he will be in Washington to help Scott and the other guys shore up things up front. So hopefully Jonathan can jump in and get some minutes tonight against the Wizards, show some of the progress he's been making on the 905, and be a big, big, huge help defensively and rebound-wise for the big squad. So that's what I'm hearing is going on with that. I think that's right. Let me go look at it on Blue Skies again because they did announce this yesterday. It's Blake Murphy. Let's see. Two ways are with 905. He doesn't say anything about Mobo. So I'm going to guess that Mobo is still with the Raptors and he is not on assignment with the 905 for the two-way with the two ways against the Maine Celtics, who will play at Paramount Fried Food Center tomorrow. Yeah, that's the next 905 game. And it's really the first game of the G League regular season for them, but not really. They already have a 2-0 record from the Winter Showcase Cup because those games count, other than the championship game against Salt Lake City, to their record. So they're perfect 2-0 so far for the season. In the regular season, they'll go for 3-0 on Saturday against the Celtics. And they'll play them twice, I believe, in the next few days coming up. That's right. Naco the Nachos in the house. Good morning, Gerald. I hope you had a fantastic holiday. I'm sure you were a cooking whiz, because this seems to be the case in the last few years with holidays. My friend Gerald Mayhew, a great comedian here in Toronto. You may see him in stand-up club somewhere doing jokes on the stage. He loves to cook food for holidays now. The man gets out there as Martha Stewart and gets out into the kitchen and just starts cooking up all kinds of stuff for his family, for his friends, because that's the kind of guy Jerry is. So salute to Naco the Nacho, and I'm sure you were quite the Julia child during the Christmas time there. Yeah, surprise third choice. The Sopranos are better. Whoa, Gerald's like, nah, forget about Godfather, forget about Godfather 2. Sopranos as a TV show. All right, you're gonna make this a controversial topic here just for our refs. Let's see. All right, which is better? And we're gonna write all three of those choices in. And I want to see, maybe there's recency bias. Maybe we're too old for The Godfather and The Godfather Part 2, and that everybody just knows, Sopranos because it's way more recent. And the youngsters will probably get into that better, right? So we're going to add this. This is going to be a three-parter. And I want to see what y'all think. And this is in honor of John Goebel and Brian Forte. We're doing this right here. All right, here you go, guys. There's the poll of the day. Let's just keep it fun here. Which one do you guys think is best out of those three there? That's right. Let's see what happens with the poll. Yeah, frivolous poll of the day. All right, let's see. UC's here. Good morning, Raptor Freak UC. Good morning to you, sir. I hope you're doing really well. Merry Christmas, Raptor Freaks. I expect us to destroy the Wizards as a Christmas present. Yeah, I felt like the Miami game was our Christmas present because we were allowed to be on Christmas break with a win and feeling good after beating the Heat again. And in some ways, that's a great present, really great present. We asked Miami Heat fans how they felt over Christmas. I feel like that was a present. So today's a Boxing Day present. Like, I always wonder, why is it called Boxing Day? Is it because people are fighting after spending too much time on the holidays out in the yard? Is it because people got stuff they didn't like and they just left it in the box and they took it back to the store the next day and got the money back? I think that's part of it. I always wondered what it meant, Boxing Day. I guess I'm not a good Canadian because I don't know Boxing Day and exactly what it is. We use it as a holiday up here. I think that people get Boxing Day off too. But down in the States, well, you're back to work on Boxing Day, my guy. It's but what is Boxing Day? Is it, yeah, you shouldn't have said that, Uncle Lex. Let's go in the yard. I don't know. Mr. Roger Raymond's in the house. Thank you to all my channel supporters. I kind of messed with something yesterday. I made the debut of my song Members Only to watch because, YouTubers do this. They have members only content. I really have not tried to tier my content too much to be like, okay, members get this and members don't. I would do more of this kind of stuff. Like I used to do reactions immediately after the game for like 5 minutes just for channel members. But I don't know. I don't know if I'm going to do this. In some ways, I get so weird because I don't want to shut people out. I don't like gatekeeping, but I do appreciate everybody supporting the channel as monthly members. And I do strive for more ways to reward members for being a part of membership. So Mr. Roger Raymond, salute to one of my best members, somebody who's very consistently supported my channel. I appreciate you so much. And I hope you had an amazing holiday so far. Let's see. Hey, Lex and our Raptor Freak family, thank you for your Christmas gift to us yesterday. I'm so hopeful for the Raptors because the current team is still so young and growing. Changes will come. Yeah. Yeah. I think that, once again, earlier in the season when we won 9 games, people maybe raised expectations. People maybe thought, wow, maybe we could really do this. But, reality hits that, you lose a key player and it really is a drop off to a degree where it's a little bit tougher to compete without RJ. And then you lose Jakob for periods of time too. You really see that you need everybody there to really compete in this very tough league. And also we find that, some of our age bracket is very, very young on average. And that there's still going to be a levels of learning to compete against teams that are more senior experienced, like the Knicks, like the Celtics, to be able to beat them in the games that we play against them. Because we could be the better team talent-wise than those teams, but they are more experienced and they know what it takes to win better than us. And in some ways, that's really been the story when we've played both the Knicks and the Celtics this year, is that these are just teams that are more experienced and ready to win a championship than us currently. And in some ways, we have to still learn and get better as a young nucleus and developing and getting better over the years. Now, it could happen. It's happening very fast. I would say our jump from last year to this year is a great leap, and that we can keep leaping and it can happen faster and faster. Now, one of the main key things is don't mess up this year. get to the playoffs, the straight up playoffs, not the play-in, and get some experience getting the taste of the postseason, because that's an important rite of passage for young players. And as soon as they can learn what the postseason's like, they can start orienting their training and their mental, like, thinking forward to what it is really going to take. And these guys don't totally understand that. Like, some of them do, the older guys like Yak and Brandon and Emmanuel and RJ to an extent. But a lot of those younger guys don't necessarily totally understand what it takes to win in the playoffs and how much you have to really be perfect. Because we got to see the Raptors tighten up on the bad turnovers. We got to see the Raptors tighten up on missing open shots. They need to make those. So there's a lot of work to be done to make this the best version of the Toronto Raptors that they can be. And well, we're work in progress. So let's have patience to a degree, guys. Also, Roger Raymond, salute, man. I appreciate you so much, man. Neil, also, thank you for your support. Also, use Mobo and Martin today if Colin is out. Yeah, Martin is not going to be available, unfortunately. And happy birthday, Elijah Martin. It's Elijah Martin's birthday today, guys. And, let's put him on blast a little bit here. Of course, Elijah just turned 24 today, 24 years old today, the NCAA champion, the G League Player of the Week, the Winter Showcase All First Team. These are all accomplishments that he's gotten in this year. He's an NCAA champion, a G League Player of the Week, and a Winter Showcase All Tournament Team First Team. That's badass. So, Elijah, happy birthday, man. Happy birthday. Happy birthday to you. That's right, Elijah Martin. Toronto Raptor two-way, G League standout, and Raptors 905 main player, honestly. He's the main guy there. 1 year of Florida, one championship. And he got there in the Final Four with Florida Atlantic too. So happy birthday. And I also want to say a happy belated birthday to yesterday's birthday boy, Marquise Noel. Marquise Noel, of course, a former Raptor that played one game for the Toronto Raptors. He played 3 minutes, I believe, or 4 minutes, and he got 2 free throws. So he did score in the NBA. He did play in one game in the NBA. What if that was your dream? What if you played your ass off your whole entire life to reach up to get in the NBA, and you got one game, 4 minutes, 2 points, and that is it? That's your NBA career. You got one game, 4 minutes, 2 points. You can say you were in the NBA, though, and you can say you scored in the NBA. I mean, is that enough? I don't know. Happy birthday to Mr. New York City, Marquise Noel. I hope you're doing very well, Keese. And yeah, you were on Baskonia in Spain with those guys. Are you still on that team? Because I've seen a team photo with Eugenio Marui, and I see Kobe Simmons, but I don't see you out there with them. Either way, we only wish the best for former undrafted pickup to the Raptors from Marquise Noel. Yeah, man. Yeah, and it's tough, man. Kansas State standout. That's right. He was such a good player in the tournament, right? Him and Elijah, both very good tournament players. That's right. All right, let's keep going in the chat. Nako's saying Jalen Williams ain't 100% yet, but the Spurs are real good. Yeah, but if they've been winning so much, like, how did the Spurs do it? What's the secret recipe? Other teams got to study this and see when they play the Thunder if they can have some success the same way that the Spurs have had against them. So, yeah, I'm not upset. My Western team is the Spurs, but I love the Thunder too. I can't go wrong in that matchup. If those two teams are in the Western Conference Finals this year, I'll be very happy, because that means the Lakers ain't there. That means that the Nuggets aren't there necessarily. Not that I have too much against the Nuggets. If the Nuggets were in the Western Conference Finals, that'd be all right with me. Rockets, I don't mind them either, especially with Fred and KD. And in some ways, if Fred VanVleet got a second championship with the Rockets, I wouldn't be that upset with it, man, because it would bonify him and make him look really good. Now, we don't want OG winning a championship with the Knicks. No. If Siakam had won the finals last year, I would have been fine with it. That would have been awesome. Because in some ways, we want to show that these guys that are unheralded, and in some ways they're champions already, but they don't get the respect as NBA champions. If they do it again, they get a lot more respect then, So, man, yeah. What is your secret, Spurs? How are you doing this to the Thunder, man? This is so interesting. Burp Derps is here. Derps, what's up, Derps? Good to see you, man. Spurs are 3-0 versus OKC, all in under 2 weeks. Yeah, that's amazing. That's amazing because they had only one loss for like the first 2 months of the season. The Thunder, are they sliding? Is it really Jalen Williams is the big deal? And I love that you spelt it out there. I really do. I love that you spelt it out, Nako, so that you knew which J Dub to tell me. It's like I knew you meant that one, but I just was like, I'm just like full name answers. You know how I am. You know how I am. UC saying this. Jalen Williams said this OKC could beat the 2019 Raptors. I highly doubt it at this point. Yeah, that's man. Why are you even doing that? What's the stray bullet at us for, Jalen Williams, with your bullshit? Seriously, you're not gonna earn a fan in me. You're trying to come at us and say that, motherfucker. Do not disrespect us like that. You won your championship this year, but do you understand what we had to go through? And do you understand the makeup of that team? Now, Fred VanVleet says that's the best team he's ever been on, the best team in the history of the world. That's what Fred said. Seriously, he considers our championship team the greatest team in the history of the world. And in some ways, he can make an argument for it because honestly, that team was so badass. And we've seen the paths that all those guys have gone on since in different ways. Yeah, Kawhi, we've seen your path since then. But we've seen Normans, we've seen Pascals, we've seen OGs, we've seen Freds. We've seen just how great that team was. The old guard guys, Serge, Mark, Kyle, those guys are badasses, very well respected. All three of them could be Hall of Fame worthy in some ways. You could make a case for all three of them to possibly be in the Hall of Fame. And then you can make a case for a lot of the young guys who are in the team too to coming up. So I don't know. Jalen Williams, if you don't have to talk about us, don't bring us up. How about that? Little advice. How about that? How about that? Because that's disrespectful. And you can't even prove this. It's like Kevin Durant said, I hate this shit. When people start comparing different players from different eras, woulda, coulda, shoulda, hypotheticals, they're a waste of time, is what Kevin Durant says. It's like, you don't know. Who cares? And in fact, even with this championship, Kevin Durant's like, this championship happened the way it happened. The Raptors earned it. And I'm not one of these jabronis. He didn't say this exactly, but he meant this. Like Draymond Green going out there, taking away from the Raptors championship and saying some out-of-pocket bullshit. No, I'm one of the guys that was hurt and wasn't there to be there to help my team. And I still respect the championship of the Raptors. And I won't delineate or take away anything from it because they earned it. Trust me. Yeah. Yeah. I don't know what he means by this. In some ways, I wish he hadn't told me this. I wish you had told me this, UC. It's all good. Trevor's saying that Anthony Davis got injured again yesterday. Yeah, it's like night turns into day, and day turns into night. There's just some things that are just going to happen. G saying this, Joker with 56 points, 15 assists, 16 rebounds. I'm not a big Joker fan, but this is impressive. Yeah, so I'm guessing they won then, right? They won the game last night. Is that what you're saying to me? Yeah, they did win by 4 over Minnesota in overtime late. That's why I didn't see it. And I love that Houston beat the Lakers too. And the Lakers are full squad. And I love the Rockets beating the Lakers. Seriously, I do. I love that. There were a lot of the outcomes that happened yesterday, the ones that I wanted. Although Cleveland, you didn't get the job done. Seriously. Y'all almost were there, but somehow, some way, a savvy New York team beat the Cavs in the last minute. That would have been like every single outcome, pretty much what I wanted last night if it had been that. Because Golden State being Dallas, yes, please. Houston beating the Lakers, fantastic. Spurs beating the Thunder, that's prestigious. Denver beating the Timberwolves, awesome. But yeah, why couldn't you beat the Knicks, Cleveland? Y'all suck this year. Cavs are broken. And that team's so overpaid at this point. Everything they said about the Raptors this summer, about their salary and how they compete, they should be saying this about the Cavs now. Switch that shit. All that bullshit rhetoric y'all were saying about the Raptors, they make so much money, they pay so much money, and they're going to be mid, and they're going to suck. We don't get paid. We're not paying our players as much as Cleveland's paying their players, and look at them. They're below us in the standings. So all that bullshit y'all were saying this summer about the Raptors too expensive for what they're going to be this year, flip that shit to Cleveland Cavaliers right now. Experts in the NBA. Seriously, you're going to go in on us all summer long like that, blind, without seeing Brandon Ingram play for us? You deserve to look stupid, you experts, with not getting that right. Seriously, you should be saying this about Cleveland right now if you're fair and just and balanced. This is a team that's just paid too much to be this bad. That's what you should be fucking saying right now. That's right. That's right. Neil's saying this, money is everything to Fred. You can bet on that. It's okay. He only gets 15 to 20 years to make his money. I mean, that does not characterize him like that. Seriously, he did consider this. Seriously. You don't think he actually went through the process, or he's just automatically like, "Yeah, that's a lot of money. I'm just taking to Houston." No, he came and did the interview with Masai and Bobby. He said it. It was a formality, but in some ways also, he could have just said, "Nah, I'm just taking the money. Peace out. I won't even come and talk to you guys." So he did come back with Rich, and he sat down and he talked to Bobby and Masai, and really was kind of a goodbye. I mean, he had that kind of respect, but why would he even get on a plane to fly back to Toronto and talk to us in person if he wasn't absolutely considering it for sure? And it's true. Look, Fred's out right now. And, a little guy like him that's undrafted, his career may not be exactly Kyle Lowry's. So he does have to get that money while he can. And I don't fault him for it. The writing was on the wall the whole time. It'd be silly if he already felt like the fit with Scotty wasn't right. Why the hell would he take less money and stay on the Toronto Raptors and play with Scotty if it's not totally working with Scotty? So, I mean, he made the right decision for him. He made the right decision for the Raptors, and he made the right decision just in general. Let's just put it that way. And I would never fault him for that. That's an amazing story. In fact, that's part of his legend. And I hope they make a movie about Fred VanVleet, just like they make a movie about Masai Ujiri. And they tell the truth, and they tell the story about how he did what he did, and from undrafted all the way up into doing what he did to get to the point where he did get $40 million a year, because that is a huge success story. And it's one that needs to be told. Honestly, it would be a very good movie. Seriously, I think that they could do a whole series of movies about the 2019 Toronto Raptors championship, and they could do each chapter like they did the Avengers. They would say, this is the Iron Man movie, this is the Thor movie, this is Captain America, and they could have all these stories, and then they do the championship just like the Avengers plot lines. This is the separate story of Fred. This is a separate story of Masai. This is a separate story of Nick Nurse. I don't know. You could pick different people from the team. Who would be a good one? Kyle Lowry? I don't know. Maybe that's not a good one. Maybe Mark Gasol. Maybe this is the separate story of Serge Ibaka. This is the separate story, and then you have it all line up, and then you make a movie just like Avengers that has all of them in the same movie. And this, am I too grandiose with this? Because I feel like there's enough material with these guys and the story of our season that you could make the Age of Ultron or some shit like that, with the Raptors being the 2019 championship year. You could have Kawhi involved in it, just like not as a main character who has his own movie, but kind of a guy who just shows up and be a part in that part. But you could tell the whole life story of Fred and Masai leading up to that, and it would be absolutely an amazing kind of synergy. But nobody would ever invest the money to do this. If they did, you'd be one of my best friends, and I'd be like, "You're so awesome for making these movies." If I asked Fred on his unguarded podcast the question, I'm going to ask him, who would play you in a movie? That's what I would say. I would say, Fred, I believe you deserve a movie because your your life story is amazing. Your journey does need to be told. And I'm a fan of your journey. I'm a fan of you personally as a person, beyond just being a Raptor. I am a team fan of the Raptors first, Fred, but I am a fan of you as who you are and what you did with Bet on Yourself. And who would you want to play you in the movie? I bet he'd say twin, maybe. He might say, yeah, Aubrey, of course, man. Of course, I want Drake to play me in a movie. He looks like me already, and I'd be honored, man. That would be so honored if like Drake played me in a movie. I mean, that'd be interesting. Would y'all watch a movie about Fred VanVleet with Drake starring as him? Speaking of movies, it looks like The Godfather's winning this poll right now, 73% right now. The first Godfather. Very cool. Very cool. All right, let's keep going. Fiercey's here. Good morning to MJ. Good morning, fam, and happy game day. I can't stay on the stream hosting family. It is the holiday season, but wanted to say thank you for yesterday's jingle. Nice ode to Emmanuel. Yeah, I wanted to get that all in there. It's like my main points were, look, we got to wait for him to try and get a chance to pay off. And like, look, my lyric when I said his contract is a deal, I think this still could happen. We've saying this all along. Like everybody looked at the number when we first signed him and like, oh, he's overpaid. He's overpaid. But everybody keeps forgetting the TV deals in this league are changing the prices in the league, and that players are going to get paid more, even more than they already paid right now because of Amazon and Peacock and people like that. So we locked him down for a certain stretch of time where the payments of players may balloon. And all of a sudden, in the next couple of years, people will be looking at it and be like, whoa, wait, they're giving 50 million to this guy. Whoa, they're giving 40 million to this guy. And then we're going to be like, wow, we're giving 30 million to IQ. And it may look really, really good over time where it does look like a deal. So it's not even totally if Emmanuel just blows up and plays better and better as a young player in the NBA, developing and becoming a better starter and a better all round player. It could be also that the league around him starts looking a little different economically because the money's so big all of a sudden. And his deal does look better and better over time. So, I want him to kick so much ass. I really do. I'm rooting for you so bad right now, Quickly. And that's part of the reason why I wrote that song yesterday was out of love. And to just kind of say, look, Raptors fans, he hits a huge shot. He starts winning games for us. He will become a fan favorite. And you guys will be like, whoa, nah, he's no, don't even come at Emmanuel because look what he did for us. That's what things like Norman Powell and other people in the past, they do stuff like this and they get honored. They become like huge legends for our team because they did stuff that helped us win. And Emmanuel, if you do that, you will get in the good books on all of Raptors Nation. Sure, you'll have some detractors that are knuckleheads, but for the most part, you'll get the majority of us on your side because success breeds, love for you on the court. And it doesn't have to be a huge shot. It could be a badass assist. It could be an important steal. It can be all kinds of different things where you do this. And like I said, I want to give him the same status as Scott now. That look, we want Emmanuel not to necessarily score so much points. We need him to have a balanced game. Like I said, if he can try and do Jason Kidd shit where he's trying to go for triple doubles, where he's getting enough rebounds, assists, and points, and he's averaging around double digits on all three of them, that is the optimal thing. If we can get him to be looking a little bit like Russell Westbrook on his stat line, he doesn't need to score 30. He doesn't need to even score 25. He doesn't even totally need to score 20, y'all. We got scores. I just want him to balance his game out, his improvements on defense. And, he's a great rebounder already. Keep doing that and just get better and better as the assist guy also. And the shots will start falling. The confidence will happen. He'll feel like the vibes, and he'll be calling five way more often in 2026 because that's what we want for him. Everybody who roots for failure for the Raptors, you're rooting for failure for our team, and you want players on our team to all be successful. And we shouldn't be happy when people are not playing well. We should wish and encourage them and support them because it's in our best interest as fans to have everybody doing well. And when people aren't doing well, well, jumping on them like jackals and hyenas on a carcass, that's not productive or helpful, Raptors Nation, is what I'm saying here right now. So we want Emmanuel to earn his money and look real good earning it. That's what I'm saying right there. Let's go get the dub tonight. That's right, Fiercey. That's right. That's right. I love it. Isaac's got me on blast with the starting five of Lex. Thank you, Benevolent One. Isaac Campbell, I hope you had a fantastic holiday with your family in Ottawa, the nation's capital of the great country of Canada, true north, strong and free. Stand on guard for thee. That's right. That's right. Trevor J saying happy birthday to Elijah Martin. That's right. Elijah, happy birthday, man. What a great year you've had this year, closing out 2025. And well, let's make 2026 even better. And let's go get your first NBA basket. Let's go get it, my guy. That's right. UC saying, I'm a Canadian myself, and I don't know what Boxing Day means. Yeah, I think it's an origin from the UK. I think that Boxing Day was something that was handed to us as part of the Commonwealth at some point in the history. I may be completely wrong. Don't ever believe everything everybody says, but in some ways, I believe this is right. That Boxing Day is something from the UK that we just kind of brought here, and in some ways, I don't even think it has any. I don't know what is Boxing Day. People have Boxing Day traditions. Like I said, are we boxing the items we didn't want that we got yesterday, and we're bringing them back to the store? Some people have said that. Some people have said that. That's right. Isaac saying USA has always worked on Boxing Day, unlike Canada. Yeah, I was saying that earlier. But don't overlook the 12 weeks of unpaid maternity leave they deem acceptable. Man, Isaac's funny, man, because he's mixing. He's doing like a Colbert Daily Show kind of comedy here. He's making a joke, but he's making a joke about a very sad reality for the United States. The best countries in the world that are getting it right are Scandinavia and Japan. and they have the longest life expectancy out of all the countries in the world, and they just doing things right. Oh my gosh, Norway and Sweden look more and more attractive every day. Let's just put it that way. And I'm just saying, it's like, look, maternity leave is a huge factor in those countries as far as like they'll give you a whole year off if you have a child instead of like a couple weeks, like in the US. Yeah, and they give male maternity leave so that the father can have a year off to take care of the kid because they understand that like family and being around your kids makes better citizens. You can cause a lot of your own problems, United States, with your infrastructure and how you don't have social programs because the social programs and wealth and abundance for everybody puts crime down. Everybody's worried about crime. It's not getting more cops that helps crime. It's absolutely taking care of everybody's basic needs like housing and food and clothing, and then you don't have so many crazy people out there doing crazy crimes because everybody's kind of okay. That's the big secret. It's not You're not going to solve any problems by just adding more police and more prisons. That doesn't solve it. That's not the answer to fixing it. Those deterrents don't work necessarily. The deterrent that works is people are okay and they're taken care of and they're alive and they're not desperate and doing stupid shit. Crime goes down. Crime goes down then. Yeah. Isaac, thanks for injecting some politics with a humorous bent, Mr. Colbert. That's right. That's right. Neil saying this. Speaking of 905, when their trade season starts, do we keep the team as it is or upgrade certain players? Man, I don't like the flux on 905. So if they keep the same players as much as possible, that's usually good. We've had 905 teams where there's change in the roster every 2 weeks. And I hate it. There's no way to get going and figure things out. So we don't want to do this. The only way that this changes is guys get called up. David Roddy had a fantastic winter showcase. And if he got called up to an NBA team all of a sudden, I wouldn't be mad at that. That's great for him. This is why we're doing what we're doing with the G League, right? But that's a possibility. It's more likely we're not trading people. It's more likely some people get snatched up off our team and have to go play for the big teams in the NBA. And there's nothing wrong with that. There's also the chance that, the two ways play less and less on the 905 as the season goes on because they're playing more for the Raptors. So I don't know what they're going to do. I don't know what they're going to do. I mean, this is a weird question, Neil. When have we ever speculated on moves for the 905? Are you trying to open up a whole other kit and caboodle of work for me? I'm not going to do this. I don't speculate trades. First of all, you know that. And I'm damn for sure not going to waste any time speculating trades on the G League level. Like, how do you even do that? Like, seriously, how do you even do that? Luke Wynn, I wonder who he's going to trade for. What is he going to do? Honestly, the 905 are a complete team. They have everything they need on their team for the most part. Some would argue maybe they need to go get some more bigs just to kind of feed towards the Raptors. Maybe. But otherwise, like the team that Luke Wynn built this year was masterful. He covered all the aspects you really need in a team, and that's why they're undefeated. That's why they're undefeated. And I can still say they're undefeated because that championship game didn't count. It only counted for that one moment in that one off with Salt Lake City. The Raptors 905 are still technically undefeated for the whole entire season going into the regular season right now. So yeah, I don't know how to do this, Neil. This is one of the weirdest questions. I don't know how to do this. Milbester's here. Good morning to Milbester, Knicks freak, our New York Knicks super fan, who's comes into the enemy lines quite often to represent his franchise, the New York Knickerbockers. Let's see. Merry Christmas, everyone. How's Raptors games, Lex? Good. We won the last one. I saw all 5 NBA Christmas games on ABC. Man, I would have spent my day way better than that, and I did. I was happy to see my Knicks come back down 17 with 10 minutes to go to fourth to win. Kolek saved us. Yeah, I saw that the Cavs were beating them. I saw the score a couple times. That was the first game of the day, which is very early in the day. And I saw the Cavs were kind of beating y'all. And then I saw at the end that y'all came back and won. I'm like, well, okay. In some ways, I'll go look at the refs and kind of study, okay, why did this? Because I was looking at the refs for yesterday because I wanted to see who the main refs were as far as they put the crew chiefs in different places. And I want to see who it was. You guys had Courtney Kirkland, right? Yeah, Courtney Kirkland yesterday. Yeah, you see who the main refs are. Scott Foster, Tony Brothers, Courtney Kirkland, James Williams, James Capers. These are the crew chiefs yesterday. And Yeah, it tells you a lot about different things and stuff like that. Tony Brothers did the San Antonio game, and, yeah. Yeah, but yeah, you guys are better than the Cavs, so are we. Fiercely saying this, came back to the stream to vote, laugh out loud. Awesome, you came back to vote on this? Okay, so Godfather's 64%, and it looks like no love for Sopranos. Sorry, Gerald, 14% for Sopranos. They're not getting the love on that. That's right, interesting. Neil saying the recipe to beating any team is sacrifice, buy in, and play with energy. Yeah, yeah. I mean, self-sacrifice for the team, doing what's right for the team, doing the winning plays for the team. Scotty gets this. This is part of the way he's built his game is he wants to do the next winning play. He said this many, many times. And the next winning play may not have anything to do with making him look good on the stat sheet or making him look good with a dunk, but it's the support winning play that will make the Raptors have the best chance to win. That's sacrifice. That's sacrifice right there. That's right. That's right. Neil saying he gave Toronto a chance to match or exceed, and they didn't. We financially couldn't. I remember because we were doing shows on at that summer, and I said the most that the Raptors can offer him was 30 million, and that was Mike helping me. Logical Raptors fanatic. He's very good at the cap, and he understands it. He's a capologist like Bobby Webster and Blake Murphy, and he could tell us exactly what is realistic or what could be possible. And Mike was saying the most we can give Fred is 30 million. That's the most we can give him right now. So yeah, I mean, would you blame Fred for taking more millions in that situation? No, and I don't. Because honestly, that guy wasn't even supposed to be an all-star. That guy wasn't even supposed to be in the league. That guy wasn't supposed to be a champion. And he was never supposed to make 40 million a year. And he had to. He went beyond his dreams and he's done it now. And Freddie, we love you, man. There's a very beautiful picture of Fred and his family for Christmas yesterday, posted on his Instagram. And it's cool to see little Fred Jr. growing up more and more. And he's kind of the mile marker for when the championship happened because he was born during the championship. So you see how old Fred Jr. is. You can kind of gauge, wow, this is how long it's been since we won our championship against the Warriors in 2019. We got to go get the second one. That's right. That's right. Milbester saying, still can't believe the Cavs blew 17-point lead. I can because they got Lonzo Ball on their team now. I'm telling you right now, don't get Lonzo Ball on your team. It's going to be some sort of weird dysfunction on your team somehow, some way, and your team's going to be worse just for having his presence around. Go ask the Bulls. Go ask the Bulls. Seriously. Go ask the Bulls. And Cavs, you're idiots for picking him up. Seriously. You were better off with Karis LeVert and other people like that on your team. You go ahead and shuffle up things, DeAndre Hunter, all this other stuff. You go ahead. Your team is going to get busted up very soon because you're expensive and you're losers. That's right. That's right. I'll take this opportunity instead of praising the Knicks. I'm gonna dump on the Cavs. How about that, Milbuster? I'll dump on the Cavs. That's right. Isaac saying, just remember the year is almost over, but Nick Nurse is still implementing the same offensive schemes. Man, in some ways, he's got to do what he's got to do with who he's got available. And well, Joel Embiid's out. And so it is what it is. It is what it is. That's right. Let's see. Milbester saying, so Jokic got a 50-point triple-double last night versus the Wolves and won in OT. That's crazy. That's crazy work. And I mean, SGA, bro, I don't know. That's kind of MVP shit right there. That's crazy. Kareem Thomas, good morning to you, sir. How are you this morning? Our dunk champion. Well, right now it's close. It's very competitive. And we're on the last week of this year. And you guys that are close up at the top, Seymour, Isaac, and Kareem, this is the time to get it. Seriously, I don't want you to force shots just to force them. If they come naturally, take the shot selection and go get your dunks because you got till the midnight on New Year's Eve. And then I'm flipping it over and we're starting all over with the dunks. And there can be a new dunk champion next year or even this year. Kareem is our every year dunk champion so far, but he is in jeopardy this week and is very close. In fact, I can give you guys the straight up place where it is right now to tell you, hey, Red Squirrel, there's a Red Squirrel out there. I love you. 267 for Seymour Pape right now, which you're a little far off from the other guys right now. But with Isaac, he's got 335 and Kareem's got 336. So there's actually 1 point with Kareem in the lead in our dunk championships right now. So let's see what he's saying. NFL getting backlash for taking over Christmas. NBA usually has Christmas viewership, but as of yesterday, NFL had 24 million and NBA 5 million. Charles Barkley ain't too happy about Roger Goodell. Yeah, I was wondering about that. These leagues kind of like they're kind of like you can have this, I'll have that. But the NFL ain't playing fair and coming in on the territory for Christmas. I believe there was always kind of NFL games on Christmas, wasn't there? So this isn't new. I believe they were already playing on Christmas Day, or maybe I'm just getting Thanksgiving confused with it because I know Thanksgiving is a huge NFL day. Yeah, I don't know. This is dirty pool. Adam Silver's pissed off. The numbers were worse because of this. Okay, this all could be very true. In some ways, I'm not upset about this. Because in some ways, look, the NFL is bigger than the NBA in the United States. I know that. That's just how it is. And I don't know if that'll ever change unless they ban NFL because of concussions, which they could at some point, guys. They could realize that American football is fucked up and they're going to say, yeah, nobody should be playing American football ever again because we're giving people very serious brain injuries. They could do that. Somebody will be so pissed that I just said that. How the fuck did they get rid of the NFL? Well, honestly, it's a league that's only in the United States. Nobody gives a shit about American football around the world other than the US. And if that sport is actively hurting their players over and over again, like if I had a kid, I'd never let my kid play football. I would never, ever let my kid play football. I wouldn't because there's enough science there with CTE and all this kind of shit that you're setting up your kid for brain injuries. You want your kid to be stupider? Go play football because that's kind of what happens. Not gonna lie, no disrespect, Kareem. I'm just saying because like you hit your heads, especially if you play line. Oh my gosh, the damage you're doing. This is the reason why Junior Seau killed himself, a very young age. This is sad shit, and this is serious shit. You think I'm being frivolous about this? No, this is true. And to some degree, hockey can have concussion problems too, in some ways like this. So I would just say that. I mean, I'm not upset about this. Good, Adam Silver. You deserve this with your elitist bullshit, with your Christmas bullshit, and keeping stats on, oh, these are the players that have played the biggest on Christmas for the history of the NBA. Fuck all that. You never let us get involved, so we would never be on that stat list. So fuck the NBA on Christmas and their bullshit. I don't care. Good. I'm glad the NFL beat them. And maybe I sound like a Scrooge McDuck on this. It's just that they've used this as an elitist kind of bullshit thing, this Christmas thing for so long. I have no sympathy for them on this. You get this partly because you know what? You don't play the best teams on Christmas necessarily. The Lakers play every Christmas, and they did not deserve to play every Christmas the time that they were on Christmas. So it's bullshit. And even teams that did well in the playoffs that don't even get a Christmas game, yeah, they begrudgingly gave us a Christmas game after we won our championship. And that's the only time ever. I think in like 15 years, we've got one Christmas game. Who cares? In some ways, they make it such a big deal. They build the whole schedule off of the Christmas games. And I'm defiant. I'm just like, you're elitist, gatekeeping bullshit, Adam Silver. Fuck you in the way that you market Christmas games in the NBA because it's a symbol of the haves and have-nots in the league and how you treat certain teams as the haves and certain teams as the have-nots and all your bullshit and your marketing. So yeah, you get what you get is what I'm saying right now. Go on, NFL. Get their money and their attention. I don't give a shit. That's funny. Because ultimately all that matters is this. And I don't give a shit about that aspect of the NBA. Yeah, I don't care. The less people are watching the NBA and more people are watching NFL, good. Good. That's what I'm saying. Neil's saying this, Lex, the team is struggling with scoring. All of them need to score. What we want is more synergy with their colleagues. No, we need bench scoring. We're good on the starting lineup. What are you talking about? Brandon and Scotty are stepping up, and they're carrying a lot. If Brandon didn't score in the Miami game, well, Scotty got it. And our scoring punch in the starting lineup is badass. We're doing okay. The starters are carrying. I'm specifically saying those bench, they need to step up. We need a 20-point drop from somebody off the bench tonight. So who's going to be? Who wants to get more time with the Raptors after this and get a better contract? Well, show up and play better so you earn that money, Grady. That's what I'm saying right there. That's what I want. Jimmy Pope is here. Good to see the Pope of positivity. Merry Christmas, y'all. Let's get this dub, baby. That's right, Jimmy. Let's go. That's right. Reggie's saying NFL is too arrogant, man. In some ways, I don't blame them. I mean, this is this world, what it is, a bully world. So the NFL wants to bully the NBA. Who cares? Let them do it. I don't give any of my attention to the NFL. I couldn't tell you anything about the NFL right now. I don't care. So you got people like me, NBA albums, Adam Silver. So don't worry about it. You got your audience. In some ways, the NFL football has been more catered to and more put on the pedestal in the United States than the NBA, and that's just been how it is always. It's been that way forever. And well, that's just how it is. So I'm not upset. I mean, you want to make it so badass and big deal on Christmas? Well, you'll have your NBA loyalists that'll watch the NBA instead of the NFL. But if there's people that have to choose, and maybe in the family they're arguing about it, well, some people may be saying, no, we got to watch the football games, guys. We can't watch the basketball. Maybe they got two screens. And they got both up. I don't know. Either way, I'm just saying I'm not gonna get involved in this. And the NFL, well, it's not like they're an entity of integrity. Let's just put it that way. Seymour's saying this, just like the stateside, it goes hand in hand. That's right. I don't know what that means exactly. Kareem's saying apparently it's not the NFL, it's Netflix. Netflix. Oh, blame everything on Netflix. Honestly, that really weird the swerve they did with this merger thing, trying to make it seem like Netflix was a big bad person for buying certain Paramount or something and trying to take over. That was actually the better deal. The other one's worse. You can tell because Kushner's involved in the other one and Ellison. In some ways, I'd much rather read whatever his name from Netflix, get this media conglomerate than the other side. And there was a pointed bad press on Netflix for this merger that was absolutely kind of trying to paint the picture that Netflix was the bad guy in this situation. Actually, it's not a good situation in general because it's monopoly. But the options between the people that could absolutely make this merger is much better if Netflix does it than anybody else. Just trust me. Now, some of you are saying, oh, if Netflix gets this merger, it's going to kill cinema and people coming to the theaters and stuff like that. That may very well be true. But who's to say that shit wasn't on its way out either anyway? You know what I'm saying? Monopoly's bad no matter what, either way. And well, there's people out there that are actively trying to make this more of a monopolistic life and world in different ways. And they have been doing this slowly but surely for decades now. And it's getting worse and worse. Now, which monopoly would you want? Would you want Netflix, who does the production company and produces some of the shows you want? Or do you want some crazy right-wing zealot maggots fucking running the whole media down south? So root for Netflix right now. Seriously. Root for Netflix to win this merger, because the other way is going to be much worse, and it'll be state-sponsored media, basically, for right-wing ideologies that are racist and fucked up. I mean, they wouldn't show that 60 Minutes clip this week, but we did up here on Global. We did up here in Global. That's right, because we're not under your jurisdiction with your bullshit. And 60 Minutes and CBS got that news story out on the airwaves through Canada, because we're still free apparently up here. And I'm glad about that. Let's keep it free, Mark Carney. Come on now. Come on. A sovereign state. That's right. Let's see. Smooth saying NFL football is boring, in my opinion. I don't understand how it's so popular. It's an institution. It's something that gets handed down. Just like, Kaloy has Santino, and Santino is going to be a Raptor freak. Santino is going to love the Raptors because his dad loved the Raptors. So there's a lot of ensconced NFL legacies and families that is passed down, and there's just they're bigger arenas, and in some ways it's once a week, and there's just all kinds of different ways. I mean, I get it. I've seen the allure of the NFL in the past. I was an NFL fan in the past, but I was never really a fan of a team. I was a fantasy football player, and I was rooting for people on my fantasy team more than I was rooting for teams. I mean, I am technically a Tampa Bay Buccaneers nation person, but I never really cared about the Bucks that much to care. I cared more about, like, is Sean Alexander of the Seattle Supersonics going to go get me 3 touchdowns on a running play? That's how long ago that I was playing fantasy. It was 2005 and around then. And I quit after Kaepernick. And I have not played fantasy football for 10 years now, but I did play 10 years from 2005 to 2015. And I knew everything about the NFL at that time. I knew all the players. I knew everything about all the teams. But at a certain point, I was just like, I don't want this workload on me. I can be a fantasy football guru, but I have to be obsessive about it. And I don't care. I walked away when they did what they did to Colin Kaepernick. And I was like, yeah, fuck this league. I'm not watching it anymore. It's basically what I did. Neil's saying this by saying 905 might have to get bigs. You answered right there as the answer to get stronger. No, that's basically look. If there's bigs out there that can be get, I still think there's some weird shit with our team as far as we're not allowed to have bigs in general. I don't know. If we had magic answers, don't you think they do this, Neil? Once again, I'm like, I get this, y'all. We want bigs. This is getting annoying to me. I want bigs too. No, we're all in agreement, but until it happens, we're just struggling. We're just people that are like frustrated. And I don't want to keep feeling frustrated because y'all keep bringing up get bigs, get bigs. Let's just let Bobby cook and he'll do what he does and then we'll feel better. I'm just sick of talking about this. We know this. This is something that we don't need to beat over the head. We need bigs on this team. We get it. What do you want me to do? Bring up a new guy every day? Marvin Bagley III. All right, we'll talk about Marvin Bagley III. This is a big that we should look at tonight, and hopefully maybe Bobby can make a deal with the Wizards, and we can acquire him to the Raptors. Okay, I said that. But look, I don't want to talk about this every single day all the time because we know this. This is old news. Shit, we've been talking about this for 3 months, and I'm sick of it. I just want Bobby to do the deal half to help the team, but I have to just shut this stupid shit up because I'm just sick of it, man. And nah, Luke Wynn's not going to solve our big man problem through the 905 as the GM of the Raptors 905. He's not going to solve this problem. He's not. Yeah. Seymour's saying F the Knicks, F the Cavs. That's right. All right. Seymour's getting a dunk. Seymour's getting a dunk. See, that's an easy, very straight, direct. I'm attacking the rim, throwing it down. 270 for Seymour. That's as easy as that. You know what? I should give him 2 because he did 2-1 there. 273. 273 for Seymour Pape for saying basic. That's a basic dunk for me. F the Knicks, F the Cavs. Okay. That's good. Very, very. It's just like being next to the basket and shoot, dunking twice. That's right. A mischief saying this: the Raptors have the second best road record in the Eastern Conference. Raptors looking like road warriors. I love that. I love that. That's an awesome stat. That's so good, man. I love that so much, man. Mischief, thank you for bringing that. I'm going to give him a dunk for information. So Jay's getting the dunk. He's going to be hitting the treadmill today. We know what he does on game day. He's going to be getting on that treadmill. He's going to be walking the game. He'll be walking the whole entire game. 42, man. You got the original Yaka Pearl number. 42 on the dunk chart for Mischief this year. He's got that original Jakob. Okay, Seymour, you went for the hat trick? You went for the hat trick? I see an F the Celtics too in there. All right, you get the hat trick. This man's racking up dunks here, man. He's going to town on the rim, man. You might break it throwing it up there like that. All right, here we go. 276 for Seymour. He just got 9 points on the dunk list just for basic Masai Ujiri material there. That's right. That's right. Just basic Masai Ujiri stuff there. Right there. Yeah. Kareem saying this at Smooth. You need to chill, man. Not everyone wants to watch players flop on the hardwood or cry on touch fouls. See, this is where an allegiance for the Denver Broncos and the NFL may be showing up with Kareem Thomas, that he does love his NFL and he does want to watch his Broncos. But yeah, I mean, everybody has personal preferences. It's fine. Reggie don't like the NFL. I'm with him. Kareem likes the NFL. That's fine. But I'm also not mad at the NFL beating the NBA yesterday. I'm not mad at that at all because in some ways, Adam Silver, you need to be humbled a little bit. Seriously. Now, I want to amend an opinion I have on the NBA Europe stuff. If Adam Silver can pull this off where he gets existing clubs to join an infrastructure with the label NBA and the branding, and he doesn't really mess up that ecosystem, which he probably will somehow, I would be okay with the NBA Europe thing that they're trying to build. It's just I thought that they were trying to come in and build new franchises completely in markets where there's clubs that already exist that have the market share. In some ways, that would be like the NFL crowding on the NBA on Christmas Day. And it's like, don't do that. But no, he wants to go take the top clubs from Europe and just put an NBA label over them. In some ways, I'm okay with that. And in some ways, but the idea that you want these teams to pay a whole amount of money just to get your branding, that's kind of messed up. That's kind of messed up. I don't know. The NBA Europe thing could actually work if he's respectful of the culture and the history of the EuroLeague teams, is what I would say. Is what I would say right there. Yeah. Let's see. Milbester saying the Warriors beating the Mavs was nice, and I like how well Horford fits with them. Seeing Clay say hi to Curry and Draymond after the game, Davis was hurt and Kyrie's still out. They got to build around Flag. He has to improve his 3-point shooting, but so far he's been good for number one pick. Mavs got to trade Davis and Kyrie. Wolves got to overtime, and even they did a huge comeback in the fourth quarter to force overtime. So there was two comeback games in the NBA on ABC yesterday, but Nuggets didn't even have Gordon and Braun. Yeah, all this. Thank you for the recap. It's not totally necessary. We'll just say that. Blackhawks saying this: the NBA is on multiple providers, and that hurt the viewership. Is it on Prime? Is it on NBC, NBA, etc.? I mean, maybe. I mean, it's kind of like what happens here in our market with the Leafs and the Raptors. The Leafs get put on CBC on antenna TV on Saturday nights for everybody to watch free. You don't even have to have cable. You can watch the Leafs. Meanwhile, the Raptors get locked away on like TSN 4 or basic cable packages won't even get you all the Raptor games because you have to buy extra premium channels to watch them. That's part of it right there. It's like the NFL is like the Leafs. They're going to get put on regular TV like ABC, and they'll be put on like, or whatever channel was putting them on, CBS. I don't know which one. I don't care. Fox. I don't care. I didn't pay attention. I was busy doing other things. Nothing sports related yesterday. And that's part of it, is that they can get good viewership because unlike the NBA, who's doing it through a streaming service or anything like that, that's not traditional media, the people are so used to just watching the NFL on like their cable, their basic network channels. So that's part of it right there. And I think this is right, Neil. I think this is right, what you're saying. Milbester's saying the only team I like in the West is Nuggets and Rockets, the Thunder and the Warriors. Okay, the only team? There's like four of them you just named there. That's those are teams I could root for, except for the Warriors. I don't root for the Warriors at all. Jokic is your favorite player in the West? Well, he's a very good player. He's probably the best player in the league. It's kind of funny. The other day, Darko, see, I'm going to turn your NBA bullshit into a Raptors comment, Milbester, because this is a Raptors channel. I've told you this fucking so many times. We're here to talk about Raptors. Darko was in a news conference recently, and they asked him, how do you feel about SGA and being the best player in the league? And he did not like that. He's like, all respect to SGA, Canadian player. He's fantastic. He's an amazing player for this country and representing Canada. But the best player in the league is Nikola Jokic. And he said that as a proud Serbian. In some ways, it's like Darko has a vested interest in promoting Nikola just as a countryman. And in his ways, he made it very clear who he thinks is the best player in the league is, and that's Jokic, not SGA. So that's interesting. Kaloy saying this, been playing 2K these holidays, and how come Grady is automatic from 3 in 2K and not in real life? Man, they better not update him. That's all I got to say. Ronnie 2K, don't update Grady right now. Whatever you got him doing in that game, just keep him doing that, because hopefully he'll come around and he'll stay like that before you figure out, man, we got to make him start bricking threes. Yeah, yikes. Yikes. That's funny, Kaloy. That's funny, man. Merry Christmas to you and Santino and everybody, man. That's funny. He's like, so Grady, 2K Grady's making the threes. Man, I wish, gosh. Some ways, Grady, come on. This is a great game for you today to have a bust out game. Like, y'all, seriously, watch this. If this happens today, that Grady Dick busts out a 20 piece today, and we were just talking about this morning. We remember, put a pin in what we've been talking about this morning. If he does that tonight, I'll be like, woo-wee, let's go, Grady. Let's go. Kaloy had a wish, and he wanted to see you become 2K Grady again. Let's go. I would love to see this. Cream saying NFL was on CBS and Sports Center for free. That's exactly it right there. See, boom. Boom. Cream just hit it right there. ESPN and CBS had them on for free. Netflix made it a show. Last year, they had Beyonce performing, and this year, Snoop Dogg for the NFL. For the NFL? Or wait, NBA. I'm not totally sure. Once again, I did not watch any sports yesterday. I don't give a shit about either one of them on Christmas Day. In some ways, Christmas is for other things like opening presents and eating food and spending time with loved ones. And that's that sitting in front of the TV and watch it all day with your overstuffed belly. I mean, some people are doing that. And there's nothing wrong with that. It's your life. Choose it. That's right. It's snowing like crazy out here right now. All of a sudden, it started snowing about 30 minutes ago, and wow, is it coming down right now? It's cool. I like it. I like it. I got a snowblower for Christmas, guys. And now that the snow is coming down right now, a fresh snow, I'm gonna try it out. Like after the stream, I'm gonna go out there and try and snow blow a little bit because there's new snow coming down right now. It's fluffy. It's easier to snow blow. And we've had like this hard ice stuff. I couldn't really try it out yesterday, so I'm actually excited it's snowing because I got a snow blower yesterday for Christmas. I got something else for Christmas. I'll show you. This is what I got from Adriana, and I'm so appreciative of her. She got me this, guys. So next year we got the cap that I can put on for when we're doing Toronto Tempo stuff. This is important. I want to represent the new WNBA team correctly. And well, I got my tempo cap for doing game days for that next year. So yeah, we got that. And of course, I got my. This is important too for this year too. So I got the different hats I wear. The different hats I wear. That's right. Let's see. Neil saying this: the teams about 600 are whooping us. I disagree. We have scoring when it comes to those teams. Contribution is needed from all players against those teams. The margin for error is small. Yeah, the last part is definitely right. And you hear Leo talk about it on the broadcast that the Raptors are not good enough to play poorly against the good teams and win. We've got to tighten up. That means no more of these careless turnovers, half-ass passes, maybe forcing plays into defenders' hotbeds where they're going to just get the ball from us. We need to be smarter and we need to take care of the ball and recommit to taking care of the ball better. And the other thing is, obviously, we need to make our free throws and our open shots. And then we can have a chance to compete with teams like New York and Boston. I don't even think I would be saying Boston, but we have to put them in the mix because they are above us in the standings right now. So we got to put them in the mix. That's right. Let's see. Kareem saying this. Kaloy, you have a better release point than Grady. Your release at the top of his shot is better than his, which is weird, but I get it. I used to dunk from the 3-point line with Tom Chambers, but he couldn't do it in real life. All right, this is a legit dunk right here, and it's kind of meta that it's Tom Chambers' crazy dunk in NBA Live 95 or 6 or something. I know. I played that game too. And that dunk that Tom Chambers used to do in the game was crazy. Because if you had it in the line, he was up above. He jumped from the 3-point line to the basket. It was awesome, man. Cream, you're gonna get a dunk for nostalgia. And that's pretty funny, man. Seriously, this is a legit one right here. All right, so he's going 339 for the Tom Chambers reference from the old video game. If you're a real one, you know this, what we're talking about. 339 is the total for Kareem now. So you are up now 4 on Isaac. 4 up on Isaac. Yeah. Couldn't do it in real life. No, Tom Chambers was a great dunker. He was a fantastic dunker, especially in Seattle before he played for the Suns. He really got up there for the Supersonics. Yeah, he's a crazy dunker. There's a couple of highlights where he does like a dunk of death, like Vince on Frederick Weiss. Absolutely, where he jumps over some people and makes them look real bad. Yeah. But he wasn't that good where he was jumping from the 3-point line. That's crazy. Yeah. Guardian Transit's here. Good morning, Guardian Transit. Thank you for being here. Happy holidays. Couldn't do it in real life. Yeah. Anyone here going to 9:05 game tomorrow on the 27th? The game tomorrow is at tomorrow night, right? I think the game on Sunday, is it in the afternoon? See, for me, getting to the 9:05 is easier when it's a Sunday afternoon game. So I've been trying to go to those games. But no, I don't have any plans to go to the game tomorrow, but you should definitely go. It's such a fun time and be a part of history. I'm so happy I went to 9:05 early this season because I got to go to the second game of an undefeated streak through the tip-off tournament part of the season. Then I was part of history. So they were 1-0 when I went to the game and sat courtside, and I went to their second game of the season. And little did I know they would go 16-0 after that. So yeah, go down there and be a part of history. See this great team. And I would say this, Guardian Transit, if you can afford it, pay for courtside. It's worth it. It's maybe like $150, but it is so worth it. Just trust me, because you'll be literally sitting in the front row right on the court. And it's a totally different experience down there watching the game that close. Trust me. And if you're bold and you want to be vocal, you can have a factor in the game like I did, sitting at courtside and bringing that 300 level energy to courtside. Well, I'm yelling defense like I would upstairs. And they did not hate that, the Raptors, because I was yelling it loud and it did help them when they were guarding the College Park Skyhawks. So, man, go to this game and just go. I don't know who's going, but go for yourself and be a part of history because this team is so good. And if you can pony it up, at least get as close as you can as far as with your budget. It's worth it. Just trust me. To have the experience to be that close to the action, and this is professional basketball. These are guys that have played in the NBA, you'll see, and guys that will probably play in the NBA. So go seriously, go courtside if you can. Oh my gosh, it's so fun at 9:05 when you sit courtside. I'm telling you, I'm more likely to go on Sunday on a 3 p.m. game or a 2 p.m. or 1 p.m. game, just because it's easier for me to get back out here in the woods with the instead of driving in the middle of the night. Like this is part of the reason why I'm not going on New Year's Eve for the Nuggets game. Because first of all, we looked into hotels and Airbnbs in downtown Toronto on New Year's Eve. Well, what do you think was like? Nothing is available, and if it is available, it's gouged. The price is like crazy high. So we're not going to the New Year's Eve game like we traditionally do. We're just going to stay here and watch the game here. But yeah, normally we'd go downtown and go to the New Year's Eve game, but I live in the woods now and getting back here on a New Year's Eve in the middle of the night, why would we want to do that? We'd like to stay downtown and celebrate, but nothing's available. So that's what Milbester's saying this 2005 Sean Alexander Lex. I was playing Madden 2007 on PS2 when he was on a front cover of the game, laughing my ass off back when the Seahawks lost the Super Bowl to the Steelers in 2006. Yeah, this is the era of LaDainian Tomlinson, Rod Smith. I'll just name some of the people that used to be on my team all the time. Larry Fitzgerald. I had Larry on my team almost every year. I loved him and Bolden because Bolden was Florida State, and that wide receiver combo for Kurt Warner in Arizona was so fun to watch with Fitzgerald and Bolden. You guys know what I'm talking about. If you're an NFL head, I can talk some NFL, but not anything recently. I can talk about 2005 to 2015. But yeah, those were some of the names that would be on my team. Ocho Cinco. I used to get Chad just because he was such a character. And I was kind of a Bengals fan. Like Carson Palmer was another quarterback I'd like to get on my team if I could get him. I was lucky enough to have Michael Vick on my team. I did this really crazy thing that year. I had Peyton Manning as my number one quarterback, and I put a flyer on Mike Vick before he made his comeback and had those amazing games for the Eagles. And I had him and Peyton Manning on my team that year as my two quarterbacks. And it was crazy. And I got that amazing game that Mike Vick had that was absolutely crazy, where he had all those running touchdowns and passing touchdowns. It was like the biggest monster game in fantasy football history. Michael Vick and his comeback with the Eagles at that year. Yeah, that was a fantastic pickup. Let's just put it that way, because he wasn't really drafted. It was dubious about his status with the league, and it was kind of like, well, let's just see what happens. And boy, did that pay off, having Michael Vick that year on my fantasy team. I'm going to tell you right now, I've won fantasy football leagues very consistently. I have like a 50%, like winning the whole thing. I don't fuck around. And in fantasy football, I have a lot of gold championships. You can look at it in my history on the Yahoo. You can see my old trophies from football from a while back. There's a lot of them in there in my trophy case. Let's just put it that way. In some ways, I did better at football during those years than basketball. Not going to lie. And I know basketball. I was kicking ass at football at that time. Yeah, I was playing all four major sports in fantasy. And MLB is the hardest one. The Major League Baseball fantasy is such a grind. It's such a long season. It's during the summer when you're busy with other stuff. And also to keep up with pitchers and catchers is a really like a full-time job. So yeah, NHL, I did good at NHL too. And at that time when I was doing it, I really was on top of the NHL too. I understood all the players in hockey at that point, but I gave up on playing that at a certain point. I was just like, I don't care. And I really just went to basketball at a certain point. All right, I just play fantasy basketball at this point. No more football, no more baseball, which is very tiring, and no more hockey. You're just playing fantasy basketball now, Lex. That's it. That's it. That's right. Isaac's saying this 27th person to chat will be marked safe from Jokic's 50-point triple double. All right, is this a stretch? What is this joke? 27th person to the chat will be marked safe from Jokic's 50-point triple double. What? Why are we marked safe from it? I don't know. I have questions here. This is not a Seinfeld written joke. You had one the other day, and it was like about Rogers and canceling Rogers or something like that. It was hilarious, man. It was so good. Cream saying this at Guardian Transit. If you play for my ticket, I'll go with you. I guess that'll be a blind date. Laugh out loud. Um, Honestly, he lives near the arena. He could go with you, Guardian Transit, if you really do want somebody to go with you. Kareem, you need to go anyway, man. Stop messing up your life, bro. Take somebody there. Go there. Take the wife. Be like Kareem. This is a real easy way to like seem like a high roller. Do what I was telling Guardian Transit to do. Go get courtside seats and take your wife, bro. And be like, yeah, honey, look at us. We're rolling like Drake. We're sitting at front row at 9:05. And like, would she be impressed with that or would she laugh at you? She might laugh at him. I don't know. Kareem's wife seems like a character herself as far as like, well, putting up with him, being married to him. In some ways, she got to be a character. So yeah, maybe you guys go to Denny's in the morning and get that Denny's, and then you just go down the street to the 905 Paramount 5 Food Center, and you sit at courtside. She'd be impressed with that. I'll bet you she would. I'll bet you she would. But yeah, you want to go with Guardian Transit? If he says yes, you should go too. Go with that too. HC's here. Good to see the undefeated. Blessed holidays. Hope everyone is in full of joy and enjoying family time today. I hope we see some magic happen. Yeah, you know, some reason this stuff bugs me. Like when we use other teams' names to describe stuff, like that there's been Raptors official admin posts on Facebook where they say the heat is on and it's for the Raptors. And I'm like, are we playing the Heat? Or like, why are you writing this? We're not the Heat. Why do you put the heat is on the Raptors ads at Raptors official admin on Facebook? Have you noticed this recently? They're saying the heat is back on. Like, we're not the Miami Heat. Why are you calling us the Heat? And he's using Magic here. And I'm like, man, we don't want to see the Magic tonight. We're seeing the Magic next week. And we want to kick their ass. It's like somebody said we were firing all Pistons the other day. I'm like, no, we're not the Pistons. Why are you saying this? I don't know. Maybe it's me and my autism and like, okay, when you say other teams' names, it's like we shouldn't be able to say that. Sometimes I feel bad about calling us Warriors. Like we were real Warriors that night in the game. And I'm like, wait, dude, Golden State, bro. It's proprietary. We're not Warriors, we're Raptors. I don't know. Is this a weird thing that bugs some other people? I don't know. For me, sometimes it does bug me. It's not a big deal. If you want to say hope that we have the magic, see some magic happen. I'm like, man, you're making me think Orlando is what's happening. HC, great to see you. And he is the undefeated in our fantasy league. And talking about fantasy, we've been talking about some fantasy today. And well, we had the big games on Christmas. And well, where's the dust settling right now so far? Of course, we'll play till Sunday. You got a couple more days to get your lineups right. It looks like Amit's team is beating Andrews. We got James beating Logical Raptors Fanatic. HC is got the lead over MK in a big matchup. MK versus HC is a big matchup. Kareem, you're winning right now. So maybe get on your team and keep doing it because you're beating Nins. Jason Dukes is beating Fiercey, but it's very close. So hang in there, Fiercey. Make sure you get your lineup set up. Cool Cat is losing to Gerald. Bryce is losing to Kaz. And I am beating Omari so far this week in our fantasy check-in with our Raptor Freak NBA Fantasy League. Yeah. HC's undefeated, man. He's the undefeated team. And I guess when I see him in the chat, it's a fantasy checkup is what we're doing here. Guardian saying, if we want to go on the cheap, Mobamba is available from G League, gives us a 7-footer. He has over 300 NBA games. Yeah, we talked about Mobamba, especially after the Winter Showcase Cup final against Salt Lake City Stars, when we saw him bombing threes and dominating us and helping the Stars beat us in the finals of the Winter Showcase. But once again, there's a red flag on him. I have no idea what his problem is because from all outward appearances, it seems like this is just a slam dunk, literally, as a player to be on an NBA team. Why the hell is Mobamba not in the NBA? There's a red flag there. It's kind of like, you may see a hot girl and you're like, why are you single? And it's just like, because I'm crazy. It's that kind of shit. It's like, why is Mobamba not on an NBA team? What is going on here? Because seriously, we can see this. There's something wrong here. Seriously. It's not as simple as like, oh, he's there. He's cheap. We could get him. There's something deeper than this. And there's a red flag. Nick Nurse, he gave up on him real quick in Philadelphia when he brought him through a couple of years ago. He's like, come on in, Mo. we've talked about having you on the Raptors for many years, but I'll get you on the Sixers. And well, he flamed out on the Sixers pretty fast, and they discarded him pretty fast. So there's something wrong there. It's not as easy as saying Obama is available. There's a red flag, and there's something weird there. Like he's a crazy hot chick. You know what I'm saying? Maybe that's one of the weirdest analogies I've ever used. Obama is a crazy hot chick. That's why she's absolutely crazy. Yeah, she looks hot and she looks like she'd be great to date, but she's absolutely going to drive you nuts. And she's crazy. Let's just put it that way. Superfan Mo's saying this. Good morning, my Raptor Freak crew. Happy game day. Happy game day to you, Superfan. I hope you're having a great Christmas. I hope you had a fantastic. I hope you got really cool stuff, Mo. I know you probably got some Raptors stuff. If we know Monique is getting some gifts, there's going to be some Raptors related gifts involved. I know it. I know it. I know it. I know it. Pally Danik is here. Good morning, sir. Thank you for the subscription. I remember your name from before. I hope you get a comment in. Trevor saying, y'all crying for a big. How much money do you guys got to give to the front office? I think, Trevor, at this point, we could probably put a GoFundMe up from Raptors Nation to help the cause if this is part of the problem. Although salary cap rules don't really matter if we raise funds for this because they can only spend what they can spend anyway. And I'm sure Larry Tenenbaum would give a big, huge amount to that GoFundMe page to get another big himself personally. But this is not how it's working here. But this is hilarious. I mean, I'm with you. My fatigue is that I'm just sick of talking this subject. That's my fatigue. I want them to do what you guys are saying. I want them to just fucking do it so we don't have to talk about it anymore. Just do something, Bobby. Just fucking do something. Come on, man. Seriously, I can only stand up for you on this channel and saying certain things in your behalf for so long until people are going to be like, yeah, what the fuck is Bobby doing? Is he asleep at the wheel? Is he just on autopilot? Is there a method to the madness? Is there timing with the cap and the deadlines and things that he has to do it a certain way? Please answer some of these questions, Bobby Webster. Why has there been an open roster spot on this team the whole entire season so far and nothing has happened? I know maybe you can't tell us now and it'll be revealed in the future and then it'll make more sense. But I'm wondering, is that open roster spot reserved for Ulrich Shamshay? And that is why, so that immediately when he comes off of fitness to play panel, Bobby's right there to say Shamshay is still ours, guys. And we've got an open roster spot, and we're signing him immediately right now. Rich Paul is my friend. He loves Toronto. And he's going to call me first and say, yeah, Ulrich ain't trying to go nowhere because he wants to keep his development on path with the Raptors, and he knows he's in good hands with the Toronto Raptors franchise. I don't know. These are question marks that we've had all season. None of them have been answered yet, but hopefully some of them could be answered soon. Seriously, because there's really fatigue on this subject that's driving me nuts, Trevor. It's really the fatigue of it. Like, I'm sick of talking about it. Just get a big, Bobby, so that people will feel better and they can say, oh, Bobby's cooking. Oh, Bobby's cooking, because they will. When you make a move, if it's Marvin Bagley, maybe they'll be a little under thrilled. They're like, oh, Marvin Bagley the third. But I'll be saying this is awesome. And I'll be tooting the horn on it. But some people will be like, oh, this is what we waited for. And this is all we get. Man, I have no idea why this is taking so long. And I just want them to do something because seriously, we need it. Obviously, we need it. That's right. AC saying that the Joker got him 106 points in fantasy last night. That's got to be a record. That's crazy. That's crazy work right there. Somebody walking outside in the snow. Interesting. Going for a walk in the driving snow. Oh, there's a kid out there with them too, it looks like. Okay. Enjoy yourself. That's awesome. Yeah, that's kind of like that Mike Vick game I was just talking about. That Michael Vick crazy-ass fantasy game was like the highest scoring fantasy football score ever when he got like 7 touchdowns. He had like 3 rushing and 4 passing, and he got like amazing, like he got so many passing and rushing yards, and it's just crazy. Just crazy. Yeah, it's one of those kind of games. And HC, well, no wonder he's undefeated. He's got Nikola Jokic. And this man's dropping a 50-point triple-double on Christmas Day. No wonder HC's team is undefeated. He's got Nikola. He's got Nikola on his team. UC saying, being able to watch the Maple Leafs for free is wild to me. They ain't been contenders since the freaking 60s. Well, in some ways, we can go deeper on this. I mean, if you really want, I can go sociological and say that this is upholding the standards of Canadian values and saying that make hockey as available as possible to help it to stay like a part of the identity and the culture and the texture of the country. Because in some ways, it's like you start putting paywalls on it. Are people going to jump through paywalls just like they do for the Raptors? Probably not. And in some ways, you could look at it as like, well, that's part of the way they hold down the Raptors is that, it's expensive to be a Raptors fan and to be able to see all 82. Meanwhile, you just got to have an antenna to be able to watch all the Leaf games. In some ways, it's gatekeeping. In some ways, it's also protecting Canadian heritage and culture around hockey. That's part of it too. Isaac's saying this: if I have to be the half man and half amazing of dunks, then Kareem is the amazing full ass dunk champion. All right, this is an allusion, a callback to some of the jokes, and I see we really are in the thick of the dunk competition. We might as well have human highlight reel and Air Jordan here today for this dunk competition, because this is kind of the competition right now we got here. We got three very strong dunkers in the house today. Seymour's already been jamming it like crazy, loosening up the rim, and now Isaac's attacking the rim right here. And I got to give him a dunk. Seriously, this is pretty good. He's like saying that he's the amazing full ass dunk champion, and that's an allusion to the butt dialer and the butt dialing incident. So I will give him a dunk for a callback. It's a callback, and it's a classic callback, and it's a part of Raptor Freak history. So Isaac Campbell, you're getting a 3-pointer here, 338. That's right. So Kareem's still 1 point ahead of you, just 1 point ahead, 333, 339 to 338. Right there. Milbester's saying, I wonder if there was anyone on Prize Picks that picked Jokic was going over 50 points. They must have made a ton on that. Who cares? These degenerates that vote on so much stuff. They need to get rid of individual betting on players. You should be able to bet on the teams and maybe scores and stuff like that, and maybe rebounds as a team, but get rid of the individualized bets. We got to stop doing this because you're putting a bullseye on NBA players, Adam Silver. And in some ways, there's going to be a tragic event because of some stupid, delusional, crazy ass fan who lost a lot of money due to one player, and some stupid ass shit's going to happen. You're making this ground fertile for this. Now it's a start to get rid of some of the prop betting that is like negatives, like what Jonte was taking advantage of to do what he was doing. That's a start. But I really honestly think you should take all individual betting off of players and stop doing that to the individual players in the league, because it's a whole lot harder to get mad at one person when you can't bet on one person. You can bet on the team and you can bet on the scores. Isn't that enough, degenerates? Or no? You're the motherfuckers who are betting on which side of the toast is going to be more toasted in the morning when you get up, because you just can't stop. You addicts. That's right. Stop it. Michael Jordan, Charles Barkley, motherfuckers. That's what I'm saying right now. You just can't stop betting is what's happening here. That's right. Milbester's saying it's snowing at night in New York City, Lex. Toronto got snow today. Yeah, we've had snow on the ground, so it was a white Christmas, but it didn't really snow the last couple days until right now. And I'm glad, because I had to drive late last night and it was clear and easy to drive. But today is not a good driving day because this snow is going to be coming down pretty much all afternoon and into the evening. At least that's what I saw in the weather this morning. That's right. That's right. Let's see. Guardian Transit saying I have courtside seats for the 905, taking my grandson. That's awesome. Dude, that's going to be an experience that's so amazing. Now, I would say this too. Oh man, I wonder how I could do this. It's tough. There, you know, there are different experiences around the arena at 905 that if you're in the right place at the right time, you can actually get the players to sign your autographs and stuff. So sometimes they do this after the game. They'll have a table outside where they'll actually be there and they'll meet the fans. So, linger around and kind of hang around a bit, Guardian Transit, because you may be able to have some amazing things happen. And you guys being in courtside, that's going to be so awesome. You guys are going to get to see AJ Lawson, Elijah Martin, and Chucky Hepburn play for the Raptors 905. And I hope you guys get super loud like you are on the 300 level. That's so awesome. These are the kind of memories that go forever, man. And I'm so proud and happy that you're taking a grandson, and you guys are going to have a blast. Just trust me on this. It's not exactly the Raptors, but that it's such an amazing experience either way. Just trust me on this. You guys are going to have an awesome time, and I want you to come back and tell me how it went. Seriously. And definitely tell me the on the scene report of what the 905 do against the Maine Celtics tomorrow night For sure, man. That's awesome, man. I love this kind of stuff. I love this so much. Kareem saying, "I'm not your grandson." I mean, I could be. What is this? What is this? Are you like some sort of weird prostitute? I could be your grandson if you're into that. What is this, Kareem Thomas? You get me courtside seats. I'll be whoever you want me to be. What is this? All right, you get a dunk just for kind of weird creepiness, man. I'll be your grandson if you want me to. That is weird, man. It's weird enough to get a dunk. How about that? How about that? 342. This is really becoming like an on live competition right here. We're seeing it. Isaac's coming this way and Kareem's coming this way and Seymour's having his little say too in here. This is good stuff, man. This is powerful. Saturday night NBA Saturday night stuff here with Neek and Vince and MJ. This is what it feels like to me. It's like the time traveler. We got Vince Carter going against Michael Jordan and Dominique Wilkins right now. It's crazy, man. It's crazy. All right, let's see. Mischief saying this looks like more than half the Raptors starters are out. This evening. Grady needs a big game tonight on the road. Toronto has a winter storm today. Half a foot of snow. Drive safe. Yeah, it's coming down. It's beautiful. I'm gonna get that snowblower out for sure. Isaac saying 905 is great. It's the only time you can say to your significant other, "Hey, honey, I got us some courtside tickets where the game doesn't end in divorce." I don't get this. Wait, what is this joke, man? All right. What do you mean? Is this like a Coldplay concert? Is that what this is, Isaac? What is this, man? It's like, anyway, I don't know how to riff on this. I don't know if I should give this a joke. You're bringing up the words divorce. This is a serious subject to me. Kareem saying Isaac is a comedian. The timing was impeccable. I don't know. I don't understand this one. I don't understand this one. The writing has been very good from Isaac, but some of these are not hitting exactly right because it doesn't. Wait, what are you saying? That you go to Raptors games and you end up in divorce, but not at 905? What is this, man? See, I have too many questions. Not enough tied up in a neat bow to just be there. It's packaged. You get it. It's funny. You're laughing. No, there's too many questions on this one. I'm sorry. It's a missed dunk. In fact, it may be very much like Jacoby's try the other night where he was up like this and the defender was in his way. I think that's what just happened. I'm the blocker. I'm like, no, this is no good. This is no good. I'm in the way. I'm in the way. Trevor's saying this. Dallas fans already calling for AD and Kyrie to get moved off the team. Well, yeah, because they want to move on from the bad taste of Luka. And, Kyrie don't need to be playing for that genocidal bitch. We just need to free him just in general. I mean, my made up rumor about Kyrie this summer didn't work. I was really hoping it would. My made up rumor about Kyrie Irving did not work this summer. It sucks. Yeah, I just want Kyrie to get out of there. But I mean, they have to do this because if they're building a team around Cooper Flag, these guys aren't a part of it. No, these guys aren't a part of it. And they're too injury hurt too. Man. Yeah, I agree with this. And if I was a Mavs fan, I would see the writing on the wall and be like, yeah, why do we even have Davis? We should have never even had him in the first place. We should still have Luca. If I was a Mavs fan, that's basically how I would be. RJ seeing this. Randolph, good morning to you. Boxing Day blessings to our beloved Raptor Freaks family. Hope you and your loved ones had a enjoyable day. Times of togetherness are priceless. Yeah. I watched a Christmas Story yesterday with Adriana. She had never seen that movie. And I watched it and I'm like, man, this movie's kind of full of shit. I've seen it like 100 times in my lifetime. I watched it a lot when I was a kid. But now I realize just how kind of full of shit A Christmas Story is. I don't think I'll ever want to watch it again. But she's seen it now, and she enjoyed it. But man, I watched it from a whole other perspective as an older person, and I'm like, this movie fucking sucks. Honestly, some people is like, "Whoa, what are you saying, Lex? Peter Billingsley in The Christmas Story? Why do you think it sucks all of a sudden?" Well, I see just how much coding and kind of impressioning it did on people, and in some ways, not good ways. I mean, if you think about it, Ralphie's a little psychopath. He just wants a gun. All he wants is a gun, and he's willing to lie and cheat to get a gun. What kind of a message is that for people, especially for a kid that was my age at that time when I saw it in 1983? Because I was his age, and in some ways, it's like Ralphie is teaching me behavior to be a little manipulative shit. Seriously. Oh, I shot my eye out, but I'm going to tell mom it was an icicle. and it hit my eye, and I'm like, ah, he's a little lying little piece of shit. And what an egomaniac. Like his thinking about like the gun is everything. And like, oh, the teacher will love me so much for writing an essay about how I want a gun so bad. No, there's a lot of messaging in that movie that's problematic for me at this point with a woke mindset and open eyes. People say, whoa, Lex, that's why woke sucks, man. It ruins everything. No, no, woke just gives you the ability to discern where things were fucked up in the past and maybe weren't right. I can go on other levels of what I saw in that movie when I watched it last night about why I have problems with it. I mean, there's a very racist portrayal of Asian people at the end of the movie. So there's a lot of issues I have with that movie. A lot of issues. And I never really thought about it that way until I watched it last night. And I'm like, damn, I hate this movie now. I used to love this movie when I was a kid because I identified with Ralphie. I was the older brother of two brothers, and we were about the same age. And there was a lot of like parallels to their family with my family. And I'm like, man, there's really bad lessons of Ralphie being a manipulative little shit just to get a pop gun, a BB gun. Yeah, it's a weird movie, man. It's a weird movie. That's what I was doing yesterday. But blessings to the Phillips family, all the Raptor Freak families out there. Yeah, watch A Christmas Story with your eyes wide open and just see how fucked up it is. Seriously. Seriously, in some ways, it's really fucked up, honestly. Let's keep going. Isaac's saying this. I just saw Kelly Olynyk on the street. He told me that if the Raptors fans keep asking for Mobamba, then he will definitely be a Raptor by the time he is 30 years old. All right, this is good. This is what I get. This is funny. Now, did you really see Kelly? I don't think you did. I think you're lying about that because I think Kelly's with the San Antonio Spurs, and they were in Oklahoma City yesterday. So I don't know if that's right, unless he came up to come for Canada for Christmas. But I don't see him trying to come up to Ottawa. Why would he be in Ottawa? He'd be in Kamloops or Toronto, right? 341, alas. Anyway, so you do take the lead on Kareem. This is really getting kind of exciting here. They're trying though. That's pretty good though. And speaking of Kelly, let's go look at the Instagram stories because he is on there. Kelly is supporting Kelly's the first one on my Instagram stories. And he's celebrating the big victory over the Thunder yesterday, is what he's doing. Let's see. Sandro's fiance, Mercedes, what is she doing? She's with her friend and they're doing goofy TikToks in Christmas outfits with the tree behind there. It's pretty cool. And she's also has this message. I think this is important for the holiday season. Thinking of those during Christmas who are grieving a loss, fighting an illness, suffering mentally, facing family troubles, struggling financially, and not happy anymore. So that's the thing, man. The holidays, as beautiful and bountiful and amazing they are with connecting people, there are people out there that have a really hard time during the holidays for these reasons that she's listed here. And in some ways, that's why reach out to your fellow man. If you know somebody's in a bad place or maybe isolated, alone, or they're missing somebody very badly because they lost them, it's tough, man. The holidays can be a double-edged sword. They can be absolutely joyous and amazing because you're surrounded by loved ones. And the inverse is very, very cold and stark too. Just trust me. So yeah, think about those people too and have a place in your heart for them. How about that? Grady Dick with a nice picture from yesterday with Carla. Merry Christmas from Grady and Carla. And yeah, they seem so happy. I mean, there's some pressure on Grady because of Oshai. He's like, oh, okay, Oshai's a year ahead of you. Now, he's a little bit older than you, Grady. But are you supposed to pop the question for Carla now that Oshai has gotten married to Avery and little Valley's here now? I mean, is there any pressure from Dick to use his dick with Carla very soon and make a little baby? Because that may be coming just because the Rock Chalk Jayhawk buddy is doing that in his life. And it's like, is Carla using that against Grady? But look at the Bajis. Look how happy they are, Grady. I'm sorry, Carla. We can't do this yet. I have my schedule with what I'm trying to do with my career. We can't do this yet. But look at Oshai. He's doing it. We could do it, honey. We can't right now. Just trust me. My dad and my mom have talked to me and we figured this out. Is this the shit that's going on? I don't know. That's all speculative. That is not the truth. That is just me making a little play action, fun little scene of speculation. And these are reenactments. They're not maybe true even. I have to say that. It's just me being weird. Lou Dort has been accused of a lot of things recently by a lot of people, but he is absolutely a Christmas guy. You got Santa and Mrs. Claus that come to his house themselves to give the gifts. to the kids at his house. This is amazing. He hired a man and woman dressed as Santa and Mrs. Claus to come to the house and give the gifts out to his kids. Lou Dort, you're awesome, man. How can you say that man's trying to hurt people on purpose? Seriously, he's just a hard-nosed player from North Montreal that plays a badass style of basketball. He's a true Canadian. I love him. And I'm going to stand up for Lou Dort, just like I stand up for Dylan Brooks. Now, y'all want to make him a villain because some things happen around him? Well, you go ahead. Whatever. He plays a tough, hard-nosed basketball, and I stand with Lugetz. That's what I say right there. I stand with Lugetz. AJ Lawson had a beautiful picture of his little French bulldog, and also a picture of him and his loved one. He's getting all kissy face and matching pajamas. AJ Lawson, you a bad man. You a Brampton man. Yeah, and there's his dad getting up in front of everybody at the family gathering, embarrassing AJ by saying some stuff, and everybody's laughing, and AJ's like having a hard time keeping together because his dad is probably saying some crazy stuff. I couldn't hear what he's saying though. There's Emmanuel Quickley's grandma, and that's so awesome, man, to see Grandpa and Grandma, Emmanuel's family, doing their thing in Maryland because he was back in the morning working out his old high school guys in the morning. So Emmanuel wasn't all play yesterday. He got up early Christmas morning and put in some reps and practice time on Christmas morning as alma mater back at his high school in Maryland, just so you guys know. So he was back home in Maryland for this, which is awesome. There's Oshai with his wife, Avery, and his daughter, Valley, in their first Christmas as a family, a married couple with a little baby bundle. Very, very happy. Very, very happy. And there's she took a picture of him sleeping too with the baby. So there's Oshai sleeping with the baby. It's good when the baby's sleeping because then Oshai can sleep. That's right. In some ways, that's important, right? With the newborn. There's Norman Powell with his lady Bella, who's pregnant, and he's holding the babies on the stomach. And they look like such a happy young couple with the new horizons coming up with the new baby coming for Norman. That's fantastic. Of course, he had a cool picture of all the dogs too. Apollo and Odin and all them. Teresa Resch is wishing us all a Merry Christmas on her Instagram through the Toronto Tempo. Let's see. Slim Duck's got some goofy stuff with some guy who's like that character from Coming to America that has the Jerry curl who's at the thing. And he's like coming through the door. Merry Christmas and Jingle Bells. I don't know where that's from. Jacoby Walter, I guess his mom made them get these reindeer costumes because he's wearing a reindeer costume and he looks kind of like he's being cool about it. But I'm like, man, I don't know. Either way, he's there with his sister and his parents. Merry Christmas from the Walters. And they're reindeer. They're dressed as reindeer. Scotty made a Christmas message for everybody in the car. He's cheesing a nice big smile. Scotty's been smiling real big with big, huge teeth for a couple weeks now, and it's amazing. I don't know if it's little Millie. I don't know if it's just the Raptors doing way better as him as the franchise player. Maybe it's the success of his friend Jonathan Mobo on the 905. He's got a lot to smile about right now. And he's wishing a happy holidays and a Merry Christmas to everyone yesterday. You go, Scott. Go get this win tonight, Big Four. And be great. And you know what? Let's not let the Wizards beat us tonight. How about that? Andrew Jones with the All Winter Showcase team celebrating Elijah's selection as the first team and saying happy holidays. Yeah, that's about it. Now they're saying happy birthday to Elijah on the Raptors official admin. There's your Instagram check-in. It's a couple of holiday pictures there to see stuff going on and that and that and that. Let's see. Randolph saying this, Lex, is it possible that Raptors have exceeded expectations with front office, which is why there's no hurry to fix the center position that they know will make the team so much better? That's an interesting take. I mean, that doesn't make sense to me totally. It's like if you can start making the team because you see a problem and just fix it then, why wait until the end of the year to fix it in a big way? I'd say if you can try and band-aid it during the season, that's much better because you want to win as much as possible during the season to improve the playoff seeding for the Raptors. So I don't know if this strategy makes any sense. Although that's an interesting idea. It's like, yeah, we know this is it, but we'll get around to it. We're just going to go ahead and keep doing what we're doing like this right now. I still think we're on double secret probation. We're not allowed to have centers by the NBA. I still think that that's the thing that just makes the most sense because like we're not dummies. We know that we need more center depth. Why have they not done it for like 5 years? You know, I still think there's some weird arrangement with the NBA trying to govern us and hold us down, and they do not allow us to flesh out that position on our team. because they know if you're not able to, you're going to lose. You're going to lose no matter what. And even there was a thing that happened with Masai a couple years ago where Masai was really pissed off. Like he was angry at the league. And it was sometime just after our championship and around Tampa and the pandemic that he was like kind of pissed off at the league. And he kind of got in this attitude of like, oh, well, I'll show them we're going to win anyway, even if they're going to do this to us. Like he had that energy a little bit. Like he had a chip on his shoulder because they, in some ways, maybe doing unfair things to us that we have no idea as fans behind the scenes. Because seriously, Bobby's not stupid. Why can't we just fix this? Are we not allowed to? Did we go out of pocket and go get centers and they didn't like that? And that's why the fitness to play panel did this to us? I mean, I have questions about this. This is such an egregious hole in our roster, and this is such simple stuff. Anybody could figure it out. Our front office is not stupid. Is there some underlying rules that we have to play by that nobody else has to? And that's part of the fucked upness. I mean, we couldn't draft Allen Iverson when we wanted to, even though we got the number one pick that year. You got to understand there are different weird rules that pertain to us that do not pertain to other teams in the league. And there's the history of the Raptors getting treated in unfair ways by the league. I mean, you could say that the Tampa thing is an example of it. Seriously. We're the only team in the entire league's history that had to play a whole entire season displaced like that. Sure, the Pelicans had to play in Houston for a little while because of Katrina, but nothing like the scale of what we had to do with Tampa. And at least Houston was close enough to New Orleans that they could actually like have some of their fan base come to them there. When we went to Tampa, that's nowhere near our fan base here in Toronto, unless you have snowbirds down there. Yeah. Yeah. UC saying this, who knows if being a Raptor fan is more expensive or not, but got to grow the fan bases on a fair basis and equally. No, there's no rules about that. And honestly, the NHL would wishes there were rules about that because we are slapping them. Seriously, the growth of interest in the NHL is not anywhere near what the NBA's is, especially in Canada. There's more and more new Raptors fans and not as many new NHL fans because the NHL fan was always saturated across the country. And pretty much how many more new NHL fans you get? They're just if they're born into it. But with the Raptors, it's a new novel thing. It's been attractive to all kinds of people. And the growth of our brand and the value of the Raptors is bigger than the Leafs. We are worth more than them because it's gotten to this point. So in some ways, it's like saying this is like, yeah, it's more expensive to be a Raptors fan than a Leaf fan. But you know what else is happening too? And this is a bad sign for the Maple Leafs. This year, they finally hit the wall with sellouts. Every year for decades, the Maple Leafs sell out all their tickets and they don't have empty seats. This season, the people are finally protesting and there has been not sellouts happening and ticket sales are not just a given that the fans are going to show up for the Maple Leafs. There have been games where they have tons of tickets available and that is not normal. And that's a sign that's kind of scary to the Toronto Maple Leafs. I'm going to tell you that right now, that this fan base is maybe getting fatigued on the losing and how long this has taken. And they're not just for granted that they're going to fill the seats and buy the tickets and get the revenue. Maybe in some ways, Leaf fans are like, you know what? Until y'all do something better, I'm not coming back. And we're not spending our money on that. I'm a season ticket holder. I canceled my season tickets. I'm not coming back until this team deserves my money and attention. Because that's true. The Leafs have had non-sellouts this year where they have not sold all their tickets. And that was not something they've done in a long, long time. This may be the first year in forever where they've had this happen. So it's very interesting. Very, very interesting. Neil's saying this, it will cost $1.9 million to bring Shamshay, back to the open 15th roster spot. Martin, as a first-year rookie, would cost $1.3 million at the 15th spot. Front office would have to free up money through a trade to use the 15th spot. Well, that's something that Bobby knows best out of everybody in the whole entire world as the head of basketball operations for the Raptors. And I trust him that he's going to make the right decision in the right timing as far as things with the cap, the apron, and what he needs to do. Yeah, yeah. And in some ways, like, make it work and get Shamshay back. Seriously, if you can, get him back. This is so stupid that we're wasting time with him sitting on some convoluted ass shit that I have no idea what exactly is going on, and I don't trust it. I do not trust the fitness to play panel or anything that they're all about. It's so convoluted. Fiercely saying, just joined the stream and Lex reading Kareem's comment. It's giving the Tina Turner private dancer vibes. Yeah, there you go. I'm a private grandson, a grandson for courtside, and any old seat will do. I'm a private grandson. Oh, I shouldn't do that high, man. You fucked up. Why'd you do that, Tina Turner, man? Don't do that to Tina. Rest in power. We love you, Tina Turner, the great singer. We don't need another singer. Stop singing, Lex. We don't need you to make bad puns. Whoa. All we want is Raptors information. So shut up. All the Raptors freaks say. All right, let's keep going. All right, let's see. Trevor J saying Dick might get smaller in the cold today. Oh my gosh. I guess it's open season on this. I did make a Dick joke already, but I thought it was apropos to procreation with Carla Lessing. I thought that was apropos, but yeah, Trevor's going to go ahead and get it. At least they're in DC. All right, I don't know the weather in DC. I don't know the weather in DC. Isaac saying this, I hadn't even forgiven Vince for his departure. Now I'm becoming Vince Carter. Just remember, kids, work hard and you can become anyone you want. All right. He's doing good here. This one's all right. I don't know if you're Vince Carter. You are kind of Vince Carter, though, because Kareem's MJ. I'm sorry. Although Kareem has been described as Vince Carter. I don't know which one of you is MJ. Which one of you is Vince Carter? Seymour's Dominique. That's what I already said. Seymour Pape is Dominique Wilkins. He's Dominique, but we got to figure out which one of you guys are which. 344. Man, you guys are really having a showdown here. 344 for Isaac. And let's see, where's Kareem now? Oh my gosh. He's at 342. So Isaac's taking a 2-point lead all of a sudden on that one. That's crazy, man. Most saying this, W stream, W vibes, go Raptors for life. Keep at it always, Lex. Raptor Free Crew, strong forever. Just help me limit the comments. I appreciate you so much. I'm at 216. We'll get this done. In some ways, it's like holidays extravaganza, a little bit of supersized episodes. I've been trying to keep to my 2-hour limit, but in some ways, I don't mind going a little longer on days where I have less to do. And well, we'll go a little bit longer today, but not too much longer. Respect Monique's cutoff, please. Let's see. Neil saying, my Merry Christmas, Mo. My daughter gave me a cup like that for my birthday. It really holds ice well. Cool. Yeah, I remember Monique gave us all these little cups when we went to a birthday party with our names on them. And I appreciate that, Jackie and Mo, for getting those little cups with my name on it. That was very cool. Little little coffee cups. They're very cool. Randolph saying, Lex, in the last draft, there were so many opportunities to draft a big, but the team chose differently. Masai was clear that a big was a priority. Why did they not draft one? I don't know. That's what I'm saying. Is there some sort of weird rules on us? We could have gotten Malawak. We could have gotten Maxim. We could have gotten a few different guys. I don't know why this is the case. I do not know why. I've also always been suspicious when the Raptors draft an undersized player at positions, because I feel like the NBA is telling us we have to build undersized stuff into our team. And Damon Stoudemire, right from the start, set that tone as a 5'10" guard who won Rookie of the Year. We could say Fred, Kyle Lowry. There's been an undersized aspect to some of our guards in the history. There's a history of that with the Raptors. I would say, why do we have to make this a history? Why do we have to do this? Seriously, why can't we get guys that are nice sized? Because in some ways that is part of the battle and how you win in games is, being bigger does matter in basketball. And it frustrated the hell out of me. I don't understand it either, Randolph. That's why I think there's double secret probation on the Raptors for bigs. Because, obviously, these guys aren't stupid. Why didn't they just draft them? I've tried to make the excuse to say, well, it's because they don't like projects. They don't want to get a big, waste a draft pick, and then they just flame out because they just don't work. I don't know, man. I wish we had these answers. This is such a weird one, man. It really is like an Encyclopedia Brown, Hardy Boys, Nancy Drew mystery. And we need to fucking figure this out, Raptor Freaks. That's right. We'll find out in time, hopefully. Let's see. Smooth saying this. I'm really concerned that Jakob is damaged goods now, because once your back goes as an NBA player, bad news. Man, let's not speak any of that into existence. Let's just trust that things are all right and things are going to be okay. Either way, I have a good feeling that Pirtle will be a serviceable use to the Raptors for his contract still. But the level of that, we'll have to see. And like I said, the 20 million a year might not look that bad, even for a backup big in the near future. In case we do need a more reliable starting big coming up, I am starting to think about that just in case because the availability of Jakob right now, and some of the things you're concerned with here, Reggie. So I don't know, man. I don't know. In some ways, it's like, hopefully he'll be healthy and things will be fine. And we can have the best sports science with Dr. Alex and get it right. Neil's saying NHL needs an in-season tournament for the Leafs to win. Then they can cry about a banner. That's kind of what they did for the Knicks this year, right? That's right. Bill Bester, you still here? Reggie's saying this. It happened to Larry Johnson. Once his back went, that was it for him. It's not totally true what happened with Larry. The only thing that happened with Grandmama was he lost his amazing leaping ability. He played for a long time after he hurt his back, and he was still a good NBA player. It's just that he lost his athleticism to jump and get up there and do some of the stuff he used to do. Now that's a totally different kind of thing than Yak. Yak's never been a big, huge athletic guy that's going to go up there and do all this. But there's a history of guys having back problems and it taking away athleticism, sure. But Larry Johnson had a very fruitful career after his back injury, especially for the Knicks. After that, and doing things, he was just a little more tethered to the ground. So he's not necessarily the best example because he had the back injury and he had a very successful career after that. Sure, he wasn't the same level as Charlotte Larry Johnson, but he was still a serviceable NBA player who played for playoff teams. So, we got to keep it all straight in the history there. Neil saying Yak's back is hurting because he expanded his game on the way he scores the paint. All the contorting is putting pressure on him. He needs yoga. You know why his back's messed up? It's because he plays center and it's a physical league and he's getting hit and bodied. And it's just a normal wear and tear anybody would have. Like, I'm sure a lot of NBA players have back issues. Steven Adams, you don't think, even though he's one of the strongest guys in the league, that he has to manage his back himself? You know, you got to understand that's where the wear and tear comes from. It's fighting underneath the basket, elbows, arms, forearms in the back, pushing him, that kind of stuff. That's where he gets it, is from the battles, the physical toll that he takes. And in some ways, that's part of the reason why we want him on this team, is because we need him to take some of the physicality, right? You got to get that physicality. That's right. Monique is saying this. Scotiabank Arena staff told me Leafs aren't a playoff team. The Raptors are. That tells you a lot there. Yeah, the Leafs have been a huge disappointment so far this season. I don't know personally because I haven't paid attention, but I have heard people telling me that they are not anything like last year, which was promising. And it's in some ways they are already having a bad year. And that would tell why their ticket sales have kind of been bad at times this year, too. Interesting. Very interesting, Mo. You're hearing it from the people inside. Yeah, maybe Jennifer. Maybe Jennifer. Fierce is saying dunk for Lex for the Tina Turner singer. You're going to give me a dunk for that, even though I feel like I did that horrible? Man, I am trying to become a better singer in 2026. I'm watching a new YouTube channel, The Charismatic Voice, and this lady's so good at teaching voice lessons. And I'm going to pay really close attention to her, and maybe I can become a better singer this year. I'm going to start going to karaoke more often and getting out there in public and putting my talent on blast in certain places. But I'm trying. A 111 for me on that. If y'all know The Charismatic Voice, it's a YouTube channel. There's like 2 million followers. I just found her recently, and she really knows music really well and all about like technique. She's an opera singer herself. And man, I love this new channel. I've been binge watching it a little bit the last couple days because it's like, man, I want to hear what she has to say about this singer. I want to hear what she has to say about this singer. And it's like really kind of addictive to listen to her spiels and stuff. And I'm learning about music and singing from it too. And I know a lot about music, but I don't know a lot about singing. And that's kind of cool to hear her music theory kind of intertwined with singing techniques. You know, very, very interesting. Wayne's here. Good to see you, Wayne. Morning, Raptor Freaks. Watch the Nuggets versus Minneapolis last night. Scott Foster at his best, making sure the Nuggets win. Utterly disgraceful performance by the NBA. Cavs have no staying power to win games. So yeah, Scott was in that game. He was the Nuggets game last night. And that's the thing that he's done a couple times in the last couple years. I mean, he forced a win for them against us. That game where he threw Scotty out. So Scott Foster helping the Celtics, I mean, helping the Nuggets, I'm not surprised by that. I'm not surprised by that. In some ways, Minnesota is not an attractive team to be a top team, and they will try and hurt them. And Nuggets are a little bit more attractive, especially with Jokic. It's just like when I saw Scott Foster on Sunday in Brooklyn, I knew we were destined to lose. Because when Scott Foster or Ed Malloy's presence is at an NBA game, there's an NBA storyline they're trying to write. And especially with Ed Malloy in a Celtics game. If you see Raptors are playing the Celtics and Ed Malloy is one of the refs, we're losing. I'm telling you right now. I'll tell you right now, if you see that, because this has consistently happened. Every year we have a Celtics game where Ed Malloy referees, and we always lose that game. And he hasn't reffed the 2 Celtics games so far this year. So expect to see him in Boston later this year when we go to Boston to play the Celtics at home there. So, yeah, Scott Foster with the Nuggets. Yeah, that's a pair up that'll get you in trouble right there. Yep, yep, there's right there. That's for sure. Wayne, good to see you, man. Isaac's saying I'm actually Kawhi Leonard versus Kareem's KL2 Aspire LLC and Aspiration Partner Incorporated. So you're Kawhi Leonard and Kareem is Aspiration. Is that what you're trying to say? No, man. Come on now. All right, you're trying too hard on that one. You're trying too hard. I think we'll go ahead and we're at the end of the chat. If you want to try and get a last second dunk before the buzzer, go ahead. I'm not going to count that one though. That one, I know what you're trying to do here. In some ways, you're becoming a volume shooter and not necessarily a quality shooter. And I got much respect, like Kareem going 6 for 10 than Isaac going 6 for 15, is what I'm saying here. Let's see. Neil saying play style, not PlayStation. When did you say PlayStation? So did I miss a comment somewhere or something? I don't know. Either way. All right, let me check on my tabs real quick, guys, and see where I'm at with that. We do have a couple more segments to do. Raptors Reddit, dare I? People keep saying I'm going to my first Raptors game. What should I expect? A good time, and hopefully they win. That's what I say. Somebody made a Scotty statue. They're going to their friends for Christmas Eve, and Buddy is a big Scotty Barnes fan. I made this from plaster, covered in epoxy and white primed, about 11 pounds of a sculpture and another 4 pounds for the base, just a rectangle. He's got like a 3 foot, no, that's like 2 feet, 2.5 foot Scotty Barnes sculpture that he made for his friend. It's actually not bad. His likeness of him is good. It's much better than Dwayne Wade's statue down in Miami. Let's just put it that way. So, hey, maybe this guy is actually a good sculpture maker. Maybe you can make a sculpture for MLSE for outside the Raptors of Kyle Lowry with his big butt. That would be good. Here's another guy saying this. I'm going to my first game alone. I just got a ticket to go see the Raptors game in Portland in January, but I've never been to a game and I have only one ticket anyways. Is there anything I need to know about going to a game, of anything to avoid or look for? I just recently got into the Raptors in the NBA this last year, so I apologize for a silly question. I just don't want to come off as arrogant or ignorant. Dude, just enjoy yourself. You're a Portland fan. No, you're a Portland person who's a Raptors fan going to a Trailblazers game to see the Raptors play there. Man, just do it, man. Just have a good time. That's all I say, guys. Seriously. All right, these are weird Reddit posts. I'm just going to say that. Let me see if I got any news about the Raptors from today. Doug Smith wants questions for his ye old mailbag. So if you can send him that he would like that. Apparently, Scotty's been added to the injury list as of an hour ago. He's questionable tonight's game with an illness. So Scotty's sick is what I'm seeing on the latest news. Doug Smith saying now Scotty Barnes wakes up with an illness and is questionable tonight when the Raptors play in Washington. Colin Murray Boyles is the same status with the same malady. So they're saying Colin and Scotty have the same thing. Whoa, this might be a real trap game. This is a night where somebody needs to really show up and get something going. Grady. That's what I say right now. You guys need that for sure. This is crazy, man. This is crazy. This is not good. If Scott and Colin Murray Boyles are going to be out, this is not good. Y'all, straight goods on Canadian goods, guys. Today I'm talking about the Little Potato Company. Little Potato Company was started in 1996. That's not even that long ago, guys, in some ways. And it was started by Angela and Jacob. They rented a 1-acre plot of land in Edmonton, Alberta, the hometown of Matt Callio, and they grew their first crops of little potatoes with a couple of shovels and a dream. And well, they become this big, huge company, even though they're the little potato company, and they have a plant that they build in Alberta. And it's a cool little thing. Like you get these little different kinds of potatoes and you microwave them, and they're just a good little meal to have all of a sudden. So, Little Potato Company, if you see it in the grocery store, this is a Canadian company, and you can get some cool potatoes from the Little Potato Company out of Alberta. There you go. There's your straight goods on Canadian goods. Support Canadian companies and help the economy of Canada grow. That's right. That's right. UC saying, speaking of going to a first Raptors game, I'll be going to my first regular season game in Toronto on February against Oklahoma City and the Spurs. So you're going to two games. You're going to go see them play the Thunder and the Spurs around that same time. Cool, man. That's very cool. My first ever game I attended was in the Bell Center last year, but it was preseason against JV and the Wizards. So you went and saw the Raptors in preseason against the Wizards in Montreal. Very, very cool. Very, very cool. Well, you see, well, I hope you have a fantastic time when you come to Toronto and you go to those games in February. That's very, very cool. Very, very cool. Those are good games. Those are premium games for sure. Seeing the Spurs. I went to the Spurs game last year, but Wemby was hurt and he didn't play. I keep missing seeing Wemby live. Like I've tried to go see the Spurs just to see Victor play in live, real live, but I've failed so far because every time he's come through, he's not been playing in the game when he's come through. And I've gone to the Spurs game recently. Yeah, no problem. You see, you just have a good time, man. Like I said, it's easy. If you really want the inner insight, like if you want to know some secrets, well, I'll tell you one. Depending on where your seats are, you see. If your seats are downstairs, are they downstairs? Are they in the 100 level or are they upstairs? Because depending on that, I can tell you, you can get a really easy access to the building and skip the crowds. And you don't need to even wait in line. You can just walk right in when they open the doors. Yeah, this was a trick I showed Sue when I was at the game with her one time. Now they've closed the gate that I used to use to get in through from Bay Street to get into the game. You're in section 102, row B. Okay, yeah, you can do this then. So basically, this is what I'll tell you, UC. You get your tickets, you got your tickets, go to the VIP entrance. And it's all right, you'll know where it is because it's in the northeast corner of the building. And it has a revolving door, and they'll have security guys out there. And there's usually scalpers standing out there. It's tickets, tickets. You want tickets? And you come up. It's like there's a bridge underneath near Union Station, and you come up, and there's like a little opening to go into the arena if you turn right. But if you keep going straight, there's a little revolving door, and there's a VIP entrance. Now you can go through that with that ticket. No people know this. Like if you're a certain section close to the court, you can go through the VIP entrance. Adriana and I did it the last game. There was like lineups all in the hall from Union Station where the guy has the megaphone. He's yelling, "Yeah, get in line, get in line." That dude's awesome, by the way. Whoever that guy is, that black guy who has the megaphone, you're a badass, man. I love you, bro. You're a real one. So basically, you can go in through the VIP entrance and not even wait in line. They'll make you go through the metal detector. Just show them your ticket and say, "This is where I'm sitting." And they'll be like, "Yeah, you can come in through here because you're close enough to the court." So yeah. Yeah, do that. That's one thing I could tell you. There's other things I could teach you on. I would say this in our stance against AI and the fakeness coming in this world, go to a stand and buy food from a stand where there's people actually employed and standing behind there making the food instead of these crazy ass people-less stands they've been making where you're self-serve and you come in and you take what you want and there's barely anybody working in there. Give them money and the numbers to the stands with the employees still in there. And then the numbers will look better and say, "Hey, look, you know what? Those self-service stands aren't doing as well as the stands with the people still in it." Because they're trying to cut corners and they're trying to cut jobs. And I say that's one of the ways we can help support humanity is go and support the stands in the Scotiabank Arena where people are still employed to work those stands. Then you'll see the difference. There's some of them that have nobody in there anymore, and they have security guards watching instead. And then there's other stands that will have actually food service people working, and they still have jobs. So that's what I would say. 102. 102 is oh yeah. Okay, I know where 102 is. You might be over near Jennifer's section. It's not a bad angle to see the game from there, man. Yeah. Yeah, UC saying, pretty sure I know where you are talking about where the entrance is. Yeah, you know where I'm talking about. You can go through there with that ticket. Just so you know. If they tell you otherwise, I'd be shocked. Seriously. If they tell you otherwise and they say, no, you can't come through in this one. I'll apologize that that happens, but they should let you through there, just so you know. All right, let me see. We're wrapping it up, right? We're wrapping it up. We said happy birthday to Marquise Noel. We said a happy birthday to uh, 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 Elijah Martin, whose birthday is today. We're going to do 2 classic cards today, guys, because I didn't do one yesterday, and we got to get our quota. And we got one every day. And Trevor J's not upset if I do 2 classic cards. All right, first one. Full name answer, please, for this classic card. He is classic because he's not around anymore. So who is this? Full name answer. If you remember who this player is from Nets history, you can get the first classic card. I'm going to say this is 100 points. Joe Harris is right. Isaac Campbell got it. Happy birthday, people. Happy birthday to you, Mr. Quasimodo. Or happy birthday to Elijah Martin is what I'm saying right now. So, yeah, Isaac Campbell, you're going to get Joe Harris for 100 points right there. Are you trying to do a currency exchange for dunks for classic card points? I don't know. We don't do that. We don't do that. There's no conversion rate for dunk points to get to get dunk points from trivia. Sorry that. Didn't Joe Harris win the 3-point contest? I think that's right. I think that is right. He was in it. I know that. All right, let's see. Let's get the second one for today, and we'll be done. Oh, wow. Okay, why not? All right, here we go. Be fast. Be fast on this one. You guys, I want to let you blindly guess. All right, I want to do this card different than ever before in Classic Card. I want you guys to blindly guess. Actually, you know what? Let's play 20 questions. You guys can ask me questions. I don't know if we can do this fast enough. Can you guys ask me questions, yes or no questions, and we'll see who can get it. Scotty Barnes, that's wrong. It's not Scotty, but it is a Raptor. How about I'll say that? No, it's not Scotty, but it is a former Raptor. We'll say that. He's a former Raptor. Okay? And you can ask questions. Is it Chris Bosh? No, it's more recent. It's a more recent Raptor, but he is a Raptor that I'm not totally thrilled with, just like Chris Bosh. Pascal Siakam. He played with Pascal, but I love Siakam. I never liked this guy. Never liked this guy. Gary Trent. No, we have 2 Gary Trents, so be careful because it could be Gary Trent Sr. or Gary Trent Jr., the legacy of Gary Trents on the Raptors. But it's neither one of those. But this guy did play with them. Ooh, you're getting even closer, Isaac. Precious Achua. That's a really good guess right there. We're doing this one blind. That's a really good guess. That's very close. You know what I'm talking about. You know who this card is that I'm holding my hand right now. You don't have to be Kreskin or a mentalist to figure this one out. It's a former Raptor who played with Pascal, played with Gary Trent Jr., played with Precious Achua, played with Scotty Barnes, and he's somebody that I don't like, just like Chris Bosh. So this should be easy. You should get it right now. You know who it is. Come on, guys. Milbester knows who it is. Milbester knows who it is, guys. I'm sure he does. Yeah, come on. Where's that last? Yeah, you got it. You got it. Of course it is. Now, do I rip this card up, man? Do I do that? No, I'm not going to rip up a Raptors card, even if it is Malachi, wasting our damn time as a backup point guard for us for those years. Yeah, it is Malachi Flynn. No, I'm not going to rip it up. But yeah, that was interesting to play the classic card without even seeing it. I figured if I showed this, it's like, yeah, that's too easy, man. So yeah, all right, because that's a little bit of tough, send it to his dad. All right, you get a dunk for that. That's actually really funny. Send it to his dad. Where's Iceman like Gervin? Yeah, where is he? Send it to his dad. Isaac, man, you did really good. You kind of surpassed Kareem by the end of this stream today on the dunks. And there you go. You got the other one too. Look at him. He's got 3 in a row now. Malachi Flynn is the classic card. And because it was blind and because it was kind of like, I'm going to give you 100 for that one too. So you get 100 points from Malachi on the second classic card of the day. That's hilarious, man. You said send it to his dad. That's a good one. That's a good one. See, I like comedy in the opportunity of the moment. And that was definitely a joke in the moment right there. Send it to his dad. This ain't no kindergarten. This ain't no Nick Nursery. Come on now. This ain't no Nick Nursery. All right, let me do the rundown and get out of here. Wow, if we're going to be missing all these guys, this is going to be a messed up game tonight. We got to be very careful. If we're going to be missing Scotty and Colin along with RJ and Jakob, this is scary because this may be too much guys missing, and there could be a letdown where we lose the Wizards today. Because I wasn't gonna even like, I was like, well, if Scotty's there, we'll be good. But if Scotty's not gonna be there along with those guys, man, that'd be bad. Now, look, I'm gonna say this right now: Scotty Barnes ain't trying to miss games. So if he has the ability to play in any kind of way, I hope he does. Because seriously, we can't afford to have you out and Yak and RJ Scott. Brandon can carry only so much. Emmanuel, you got to go above and beyond if this is going to be the settings. And who the hell's going to get any rebounds for us? Seriously, this could be a huge problem tonight if Barnes is not playing. Oh my gosh. Jonathan Mobo, you better be ready, bro. You better be ready, my guy. Wow. You forgot his dad's name, Eric? Yeah, Eric Flynn. That's right. Yeah. You had Malachi typed out too. Lawson for Scotty this game? No, Lawson's in Mississauga. He's not anywhere near the team. The two ways are already set up to be in Canada. They're not down there. So none of the two ways are there, but Jonathan is. Mobo is with the Raptors, but Lawson, Martin, and Hepburn are with Andrew Jones in the 905. That's already been declared. And it's not like they're going to shoot him down there on a plane just suddenly all of a sudden. So we're going with what we got. And unfortunately, at this point, it's Yak out, it's RJ out, and now Colin is questionable, and Scotty. They're both questionable, and apparently they have the same illness, is what they're saying right now. Man, that's no good. On the other side of things, the Wizards are Cam Whitmore is out, and Corey Kispert is out. Those are their two guys that are out. The refs for tonight: John Goebel is the crew chief. He favors the Raptors. Brian Forte is the second ref. He favors the Raptors. And Matt Callio is the third ref, the Canadian ref, and he favors the Raptors. It's going to be tough, man. This will be a real test if these are the guys we're going to be missing. And casuals, listen, if we lose a game to the Wizards tonight and you act like you did about the Brooklyn game, just stop. Because the parameters of the game have just suddenly changed, knowing that Scotty is sick and he may not be suiting up tonight. So, yeah, this is scary. This is scary stuff. Scary hours, indeed, Monique. And hopefully we got guys that'll step up in the place of these guys missing. Brandon, you want to go get 50 tonight? You might have to. Brandon Ingram might have to get a 50-piece tonight for the Raptors to win against the Wizards. I'd like to see them win no matter what, but it's going to take some guys who have not been playing well to play way better tonight. And that's Shed, that's Walter, that's Dick. Yeah, these guys have to step up. And Jonathan, if you're back in the lineup and you're getting major minutes tonight, you better play at your top best and show us what you've been doing on the 905 to help them be undefeated. That's what I'll say to that. All right, yeah, the words, the keys to the victory, the plan to the win to the game is a lot more complicated with Scotty Barnes out. Let's just put it that way. But either way, I believe in those guys. All right, y'all, thanks for watching me today. Preview for the Washington game tonight. And, well, we'll react to whatever happens tonight tomorrow. And also, I'll have a preview for the Maine Celtics and the Raptors 905, especially for our guy who's going the game tomorrow, Guardian Transit. So, yeah, we'll have that set for you. Yeah, thanks for the information again. No problem. Anytime, man. In some ways, look, not that I encourage this, but if you want to make some money, I don't want you to bet against the Raptors, but there is a possibility that this might be a night where we're losing just because of absence. Just because of absence. And I hate that. I don't want that to happen. The boards are going to be so important tonight. The rebounds are going to be so, so important for the Raptors to get their fair share. Yeah, Monique sees it. Scary hours. With no Colin and no Scotty possibly, that is scary hours right there. All right, the final poll results for our poll. The Godfather, 56% is better than The Godfather 2 and Sopranos, although Sopranos had a comeback, and they're second now at 24. And personally, out of that group, I'm picking Godfather 2, guys. I'm sorry. I am. Because I don't know. That's what I think. That's what I think. But you guys think it's The Godfather. That's perfectly fine. All right, y'all. Have a great Friday. TGIF. Let's go, Raptors. Whatever the settings are, put your best foot forward. Play your best for Darko and for the city of Toronto. And let's make this happen one way or another. I say this every day to my friend Steve. Just win. Find a way, no matter what, who's there and how it is. You just got to just try and win. Just win, baby. and get that win. All right, y'all. Have a great day. I'll see y'all tomorrow. Let's go, Raptors. Let's go, Raptors. Beat the Wizards on Boxing Day. Woo!